But no, I do think you can take the Cartesian subject and update it with Levinas and Lacan and turn it into the subject, like what we think of as like the Lacanian subject. I think that the seed is in Descartes. Right. But I know, like, well, I am perverting Descartes a little bit because I'm putting qualifiers on. Well, yeah, but if you read Descartes and if you just replace God with the other, then you have this. But like that's not. Yeah. Now it is because I have read Descartes' words and I am trying to like implement it and put it into like a framework or whatever. So I am taking words that Descartes himself said, but I'm also not stopping at Descartes. I'm moving further into modernity and I'm moving beyond Hegel, Kant, Spinoza, but like, which I think that's the proper way to read anybody.
And it's not like Descartes was fucking orthodox,
Right.
Like it's not like Descartes. Like, so who knows what Descartes really wanted to say about God and what he really meant about God.
I think he was
some people say
super
he's
atheist, dude.
Yeah, and I know that take is out there, but even if it's not true, like he's rethinking everything. Why wouldn't he be rethinking God?
Yeah.
And that was in the air at the time. That was in the fucking water everyone was swimming in.
It doesn't even have to be. Yeah, like it doesn't have to be. Oh, my Descartes has to be this 21st century atheist guy.
Yeah,
because like what Descartes is doing, similar to like the shit you were saying about Erasmus, like when we were talking about Erasmus and. Like I think that's valid. I think it's valuable. I think it's worthwhile. And if I need to project my thoughts and feelings onto it, that's fine. I don't have to. I'm still a part of, I think, a tradition or whatever that culminates in the questions we're asking now. And what are we doing now? We're trying to figure out how to reclaim subjectivity. Here in the 21st century.
This shit I started writing, I think is gonna be fucking good it's gonna be dope. But what did you just say? Fuck. That's my train of thought.
Reclaiming subjectivity. Descartes, Erasmus.
Oh yeah, like I think that there is really like a through line from Erasmus, like what I think of at least as like the origins of humanism. There is like a coherent through line to today, to Mikey, you know, I think that there is like, I don't know if Mikey thinks of himself as like a humanist at all, but like necessarily, but like, he wrote a book about really like opposing anti-humanism with a kind of humanism. Right. So it's like, I don't want to speak for him, but like, I feel like there's a through line there. Like there really is, there's like something connecting all the way back to the dawn of humanism,
I mean, I think you're probably right about that, and I like it. It almost like it almost calls into question though, like are we doing like some kind of postmodern reinterpretation or reterritorialization of these thinkers? I don't think we are. But also I bump up against that question, like, okay, so are we just putting on different hats? Are we putting on whatever hat we feel is appropriate to read this?
Well, if we say like, are we doing a postmodernism? To me, the answer is like always going to be yes.
Yeah,
because we're in postmodernity. We're in that epoch, and so to me, it's inescapable to doing it. We have to do a postmodernism. Right. Like the most we can hope to do is, because it's like we're in the land of niches. The most we can accomplish at this point in history is to create more competent niches.
Yeah,
that's our fucking panacea. Like right now in this land where history is stopped.
Yeah,
and there's only technology.
I do think it's definitely true. There's no return. Like we can't get back to the land before time.
Yeah, we
Um,
can't do a modernism in
right.
postmodernism.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, But that doesn't mean also there's this idea that Adorno has in commitment of like art as like a this is my word, this is my interpretation of what he's saying, but like art is inherent revolt.
Yeah.
So like a work of art, right, is something that like it cannot help but um take up and be a part of its own time, but it's also saying, and this is his words, is it's also saying at the same time it should be otherwise. Like Kafka's writing like steeped in his, and this is the example Adorno uses, is like Kafka's talking about shit like in his own time, and his work is of his own time in so many ways, but it's like he's also like it's also like a metaphysical protest against reality itself at the
Yeah.
same time. At the same time, you know what I mean? And so like the difference between like a postmodernist who like leans into postmodernism and like waves that flag and like uncritically and is just like postmodernism good, yeah, groovy. Like the difference between that and just like, oh, I have to be a postmodernist because I have no other option is like the difference between is your art just inherent
Yeah.
to your time or is it inherent revolt? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is it both part of the is it of the world and in the world or is it you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like so yeah.
Yeah, and I think like art being like this
And I have
object
to
of
say the same thing about philosophy too.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. Art
Yeah.
theory, philosophy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
but I almost wonder if like that is always going to be like a like a post hoc thing. Not even like a post hoc thing, but like we can only know after the fact. We can never know if we're doing art. We can never know if we're doing theory, philosophy in the moment.
Probably. Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
when yeah, and I think that's probably true. Like everything is no,
Yeah.
like nothing is what it is until after the fact or I don't know, however you want to say that.
But that implies you can self-criticize too. You can produce something. Like I wrote something, it was like a short story, and then I was like, because it just like came out of my unconscious,
Yeah,
I
dude.
didn't think about what I was doing it. I just like did it. And then I was like afterwards, I was like, oh, that was just postmodern bullshit. After I wrote it, I was like, I want to rewrite it to make it like that, like more than that, But like the original draft, I was like, no, this is just like postmodernism has infected my unconscious, and I
Yeah.
like this is what came out of me,
So
like
like a Jackson Pollock versus like a Rothko.
fuck yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh
Because like weirdly, I love Rothko, and
yeah.
I think Jackson Pollock is bullshit.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
I like when I'm setting out to Mikey and I were just talking about writing fiction and like I really
I love your fiction, dude. I really do.
I'm I'm getting more excited about the I don't know, like um because it is kind of like, well, yeah, this is just falling out of me, but also it is this process of like being critical, like recursive, reflexive, like fuck this is shit. Like I have a badass story that I'm like stoked about right now about aliens
Mm,
invading and capital and all this shit, but it's just like, no, this sucks. This is just like this is a Jackson Pollock. This is not a Rothko. So like
hmm
I'm always setting out to write a
for
Rothko.
sure. Yeah,
Um
yeah.
but a lot of the times what comes out is a Jackson Pollock in um but I don't know. There's also the question of like, well, can I even trust myself on that? And I think probably not. Like ultimately, no, probably not, which is why I think it's important to have like to share your work or share your thoughts or your words or whatever with other people so you can
hmm
get out of that masturbatory circle of just flinging cum at a fucking canvas and saying,
Fuck, which
this is
dude,
art.
have you ever read Pynchon, Thomas Pynchon?
Thomas, yeah, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Dude, to me, I read like two-thirds of Gravity's Rainbow, and fuck that book. Like fuck, like I got 2/3 of the way in, and I wrote, and I wasn't. It wasn't like I was confused or bored. I was like, I am not reading this on principle, like anymore. Like fuck this shit. It was like, have you read that? Have you read that
I
one?
read it a long time ago, and I've been needing to get back to it.
Dude, I
Um,
fucking hated it. I liked it. I loved it to start out with, but
yeah,
as soon as I got further, I was like, this is just fucking perverse. Like, I'm sorry, Nabokov wrote about like got you inside the head of a fucking pedophile,
dude,
and it
Lolita, what the
never
fuck, dude?
and
Yeah,
it's a head trip, but
yeah,
it's never pornographic at any point. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
It's never fucking and then but like Pynchon, like I'm sorry, there are scenes in that book that are like they're beyond gross. They're
yeah,
like, no. I don't need graphic descriptions of fucking
yeah.
pedophilia. Like, why is that there? Like that does nothing. I like to me at the end of it, I was just like, I didn't even get to the end of it. I was like, this is just fucking perverse and pretentious. You know what I mean? That's how I ended up feeling about that book.
I I only ever walked out of one movie in my life, and it
Yeah.
was The Hills Have Eyes, the like mid 2000s, maybe early 2000s remake of The Hills Have Eyes, where they like there's a
I never
scene where they
saw
like
it.
assault an infant.
What the
Uh,
fuck?
and I don't know if they did or not. Like it just like sitting in the movie theater, like that was what they were setting up. Like these hill people, which is
Yeah.
already kind of problematic to like if you think about it. They're like, oh, these mutant like handicapped people, they're the bad guys. Like, but whatever.
These
But
handicapped hillbillies.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
But that's what they were setting up, and I don't know if
fucking
it
West
happened or not.
Virginians.
They kind of like Deliverance, like that the problematic nature of Deliverance, but
Yeah.
the like when I thought, and it could be maybe they didn't do that, but I felt like, oh, they're gonna hurt that child.
Yeah.
I'm leaving, so I like walked out of the movie theater. That was the only time I've ever done that in my life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely like there are. Well, even now watching like I watch tons of shitty sci-fi TV shows. Um, and there's a lot of just gratuitous sex, and I often find myself like, I don't want to watch this. Like, I don't want to look at this.
Dude,
Right? Like, what? This serves
I
no
never
point, dude. Like,
I never saw Game of Thrones just because I was like I heard about it so much and I'm like I don't care about first of all I don't care about fucking fantasy at all.
mm,
The whole genre except for like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, that's like my
yeah.
one exception because that's like the OG shit. And then everything after that is a reproduction of like Lord of the Rings and like you know
Well,
what I
dude,
mean?
even the Lord of the
Uh
Rings was a reproduction of
well,
like
that's very
Norse
true.
mythology, dude, and
Well,
like,
dude, which it's worse than that. The Wagner's opera, The Ring.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lord of the
Well,
Rings is a ripoff of Wagner
I know,
too.
which
It was like, yeah,
yeah, that ties into Alien Covenant.
sure, yeah,
Talking about Wagner and the entry of the gods into
right,
Valhalla or whatever.
dude. I actually forgot
Yeah.
about that a little bit. Yeah, I should have
But
rewatched it. Fuck,
yeah,
but
like
I love that movie.
Tolkien ripped off, Norse and Anglo and Saxon mythology and blah 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 blah. But no,
Which is based if everyone forgot about it, which is kind of true. It's that's why I have some respect because I feel like everyone kind of forgot about that mythology a little bit,
so he was
and so
doing a modernism or he was doing a modernity. He was trying to do a
I
modernity.
don't care.
No, that
Maybe, yeah.
yeah,
Does
like
it? I don't know. Is he doing yeah, I think he's doing doing a modernity. I feel like.
he's attempting a modernity as opposed to a post modernity.
Yeah,
Like
I think.
I
Well,
would
yeah.
say
Whereas like everything
C.S.
after
Lewis.
that is.
I would
Mhm.
say C.S. Lewis is doing a post modernity.
Oh, you think so? From the
Yeah.
beginning?
Yeah. Like he's
Yeah.
doing postmodern Jesus. He's like, yeah, let's make Jesus a cool lion, and we'll have boats and closets that transport you, and like C.S. Lewis is like, I got to update this shit to make kids care about
I gotta
Jesus.
update Jesus. Yeah.
Whereas maybe Tolkien really did believe he was reinstituting some kind of like cultural
Mm.
maybe I don't fucking know, dude. I mean,
Dude, I think that sounds right about Tolkien. I'm not sure about C.S. Lewis if
yeah,
he's doing.
that's
I'm not sure if I buy that. Whether
yeah,
he's
yeah,
doing a
yeah.
post-modernity, it might be right. You might be right. I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. But I don't know if I want to because, like I said, I don't care about fantasy at all.
Yeah.
Everyone in my family, I think I don't care because everyone in my family like reads like Brandon Sanderson like fantasy novels and like always tries to get me to read them. And I'm just like, I don't care. I will never read these. But
There's
yeah.
like his like the Wheel series or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh there's like a million of those books. I tried to read those books, the Wheel of
Yeah.
Time or whatever. I think that's
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson.
I
And
don't know.
yeah, it was like I can't keep up with this shit, dude. Like
There's too many of
there's
them,
too
dude.
much, man. And I'm a
Yeah.
nerd. I'm a nerd. I like to
Yeah.
like dig in deep and obsess over shit. But even that I was like I can't do this, dude.
Yeah.
But getting back to Gravity's Rainbow, I need to go back and read it. I definitely appreciate your criticism though, because I think it's
I'm just with
true. Like that
I'm just with
gratuitous stuff
oh
is like
yeah, yeah.
we don't need to do gross freak out. Like I think people probably think that's radical, kind of like Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? Warhol, the Campbell soup can guy.
I like Warhol. He's postmodern as fuck, but I like it anyway. Like
See,
I
dude,
love it.
I think like I love Norman Rockwell,
Mm.
and I think like for whatever reason in my head, I juxtapose Norman Rockwell and Andy Warhol. Like they kind of stand as opposing poles on some spectrum. I don't know what spectrum.
Dude, they're
Um,
both postmodern though. But
I
like
think so. Yeah, yeah,
what I
yeah.
like about Warhol is he's honest about it. Whereas like I don't
I
think
think Rockwell's honest
Rockwell
about
is
it.
honest.
No,
You know?
I think it is honest. I think he's like painting, like he's creating these pictures, and I think he's like this is propaganda. I think he's always been open and honest about the fact that like yeah, I'm painting propaganda posters for a world that doesn't exist anymore, but we want you to believe still exists. The Saturday Evening
That
Post.
part though, there's the self-deception built into it. That's what I
Right.
don't like. It's like I want you to still believe in this
What
world that doesn't exist.
I
That's how I see
I think Warhol, rather than saying I want you to believe in a world outside of you, I think Warhol was just saying like I want you to believe in me as the radical artist. Like I
it.
think Warhol was high on his own farts.
I think he was saying that like art is dead, you know, and I have killed it. He's like the Nietzschean Ubermensch of art. Like art is dead, and I have fucking killed
I,
it.
don't- I mean maybe dude. I don't know. I've never cared for Warhol. He's always rubbed me the wrong way. But maybe I don't know. There's like I don't know. It's I think it's impossible to like to be a noble artist in the world we live in today
Right?
anyway. Like we can find problems with all these guys. Like we can be like, well, what about this guy? Well, he was an asshole. He was this. He was that. Like, um, so maybe it just comes down to like aesthetics. Like I think it's kind of lame to just paint a commodity object and sell it for millions of dollars. But then again,
Right.
it's also lame to paint a big blue rectangle and sell
Yeah, yeah.
like I
It's
don't
kind
know.
of lame, but it's also kind of incredible. It's beautiful too. Like he was really Rothko was really painting something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
No,
it's like
I
emotion itself, you know.
yeah, I
But
absolutely
like,
do.
but that's why I say um, or like Warhol's saying like art is dead and I have killed it because he's not hiding the fact that um this is all bullshit at this point. You know, he's not hiding it at all. He's just saying like, no, it's bullshit, and like, let me make it. It's like the difference between Trump and Obama, right?
Mm,
Because like
mm,
Obama pulls the wool over everyone's eyes and goes like, no, the state still has like, there's still nobility
yeah,
here. There's still something beautiful and noble in the state. And then Trump is like, well, okay, they're both doing the exact same thing when it comes to fucking like making corporations and in government completely indistinguishable from one another. But
yeah,
Trump just makes it so much more obvious. Like Elon Musk is in his fucking cabinet or whatever, you
yeah,
know?
dude.
He's like on like they're like bros. Like whereas Obama, for all intents and purposes, structurally doing the same shit. The
Yeah,
same shit, right? But everyone believes that like we live in a good country when Obama's in charge, and then when Trump is in charge, all the Democrats are freaking out. And I'm like, Structurally, nothing's changed. Nothing's fucking changed.
So
Right.
Obama is the Rockwell, Trump is the
Yeah.
Warhol.
Yeah. Trump's the Warhol, dude.
And
Absolutely.
we need something else. We need to find a new solution. Now I do think art died, but I think art's probably always dying and being reborn. And I think it's probably true. You know, Warhol did kill art in a way. Um, but I think it probably, you know, rose. Like I think the world we live in today, I think there are probably people making art right now.
Yeah.
So that implies that like art was reborn in a way, or like the possibility of art was reborn in some way, and it'll die again, and someone else will kill it.
Yeah. The only thing
Um,
that's suck like art is almost I feel like art is almost reborn now in that people aren't it's miserable. It's a miserable rebirth, but it is reborn that like people aren't getting paid to
mhm.
do fucking good art. Like good art doesn't like I have friends who are artists who are fucking great and they make no fucking money.
Should
And then
artists
like
get paid?
shit artists get paid.
Should
Shit
they?
artists get paid. Yeah.
You think so?
If you absolutely, I think so. Because if you know someone, if you're like a rich fuck who has a bunch of connections and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know people in the like gallery world, you'll get fucking exhibitions. You'll get paid for that shit.
yeah.
It
But
doesn't matter how
most of
good
those
your art is at
people,
all.
yeah, most of that's trash.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing. So like my one of my pet peeves is like people on YouTube who complain about free speech and like censorship on YouTube. They're like, there's stuff we
Mhm.
can't say, there's stuff we can't do. Uh, and it's like, dude, you can do whatever you want on YouTube. Like I do whatever the fuck I want on YouTube, and I don't give a shit about. And look, I'm not some big million follower guy. I don't want to be some big million follower guy. I want to do what the like. I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah,
And so I'm also not complaining about free speech and censorship and oh, I don't get pushed in the algorithm and oh this and oh that. It's like no, I'm doing what I want to do. So in a sense, it's like I can either do what I want to do, or I can chase some commoditized version of the thing that's not even what I want to do in the first place. Like I
yeah,
think I now I do think that artists should be paid in the way that I think everybody should be paid. I think artists deserve dignity. I think humans
yeah,
deserve
exactly.
dignity. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
like the idea that artists don't get paid, I think that's a good thing. It's like no, artists
Right.
like you should go chase your art. Go make art. You'll probably find some
Yeah.
other way to make a living. You'll get a job. Maybe you'll get a rich friend. Probably not. You're probably going to die miserable. You're going to have substance abuse issues. But that's beautiful. Like I think no, artists shouldn't get paid actually because no one should get paid. Like that's the thing. None of us
Yeah,
should be getting paid for anything.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think that is a condition of art. Like when it ceases to be an economic enterprise, then it can be art. Only then can it be art. Now that's
yeah,
extreme. There are people who for whatever reason they just have to chase their passions. They can't figure it out, and it would be nice if they could make a living while pursuing their passions. But I do think like economic utility and art are fundamentally incompatible. And I think
yeah,
you have to choose, am I going to make art? Am I going to pursue this object of passion? Or am I going to try to commercialize it and commoditize it?
yeah.
So I think it's
This
good that artists aren't getting paid, dude.
I hear you. This is like way too fucking real because like I'm not doing art really, but I'm trying to do something equally impossible to
Yeah.
commoditize, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like and it's like it's way too real. Like you said, substance abuse.
For
Like,
sure.
it's way too fucking real. But I'm like, where was I going with this? No, like I think it's true though. Like you're right. Like, but in our world,
Yeah.
you have to make that decision in this world between
Yeah.
like you gotta sell out and just be a corporate fucking shill or whatever, if
Yeah.
you even have that as an option,
Most
or
people
you
don't.
and
Most
most
people
people don't
don't.
even have that option, right?
Yeah.
Or you just make what you the good shit is like commissions to just do what you want to do.
Hmm.
That's the like utopian thing for art is that either the state or rich people like would commission art to just like you can do what you want to do,
Yeah.
you know? Like
Dude,
that's kind of that's when art is amazing and like you get both. You get you get fed, and also
Yeah.
you get to create amazing things. So you get, so
I yeah, I kind of gave up on the idea of expression in general, not just art, because I like I do think art is a special type of expression. But I think expression is also like a valid thing that we all should strive for, and most of us rarely get to express ourselves. Like trying to do photography and like doing that shit on Instagram and like trying to work for other people, and it was like, this is fucking gross, dude. Like rather
yeah.
I would rather prostitute my body
Yeah,
legitimately
yeah,
than like
yeah.
prostitute my soul in this sense, because
Right.
I do believe in expression, and I believe like we're trying to put some part of ourselves into something that we give to other people, that we give to the world, and it says, this is me, this is who I am, or this is what I'm trying to say, or whatever. And we do that through art, we do that through philosophy, whatever. Like we try to say something true about ourselves or the world. um and so many people find themselves in this position where they're trying to do that, but they're also trying to do it to make a living, and it's unbearable. It's a horrible way to live, and that's, I think a lot of
Yeah.
people do really really suffer, and it sure would be cool if we had a world where people could pursue their passions and pursue like
Yeah, yeah. You know what it would take, like right now? Like, yeah, there's like we can talk about like socialism 2.0 or whatever the fuck, but like it could change right now though, is like if the nouveau riche, like the new money, had any fucking taste at all.
yeah
That would,
yeah
and then they started commissioning like art and stuff that was actually like good. But I feel like the problem is like new money has no fucking taste, like at all. They have no fucking class. Like, like old money, they would do that. But like
yeah
new money, I don't feel like they give a fuck. They don't care about you. Like Elon Musk like wants to educate his kids so that they get no humanities at all.
yeah well, they
None.
want like
Like what?
the sleek modernist minimalist, like everything is like
Yeah.
sterile and antiseptic, and like
But the crazy thing is that shit is just a reproduction of like art. It's a reproduction of like
that was an
what people
art
created,
style. Yeah, like that was
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
like
now
that
it's
was
just a dumbass reproduction of it, of like war of like what's his name? Like no, what's it, fuck. I got Norman Rockwell stuck in my head. What's
mm,
the
he'll do that.
American architect, the most famous
Frank
American
Lloyd
architect?
Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
Frank Lloyd Wright, or like I love fucking I want to go see one of his buildings in real life so bad. I've only seen um, internet pictures of them, which doesn't count. But Le Corbusier,
Le
I think his name.
Corbusier,
Yeah,
Corbusier.
amazing. I love that shit. It's spelled Corbusier,
Yeah, dude.
but his shit is amazing to me. But like all the shit that they like is like reproductions of that like genuinely inspired novel, like beautiful artistic creation. And then I feel like like the Tesla is like a
Yeah.
dumbass reproduction of all that design. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
the Tesla is Duchamp's fountain with four wheels.
Fuck yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Frank Lloyd Wright was actually based, man. And they have
yeah.
here in Phoenix, they have there's a lot of Frank Lloyd Wright houses here, but the
Nice.
Taliesin West, like it's like a resort. But he was, fuck, man, he built shit like Martian houses, and he did all kinds of shit. He didn't
Yeah,
just do like the shit that a lot of people think of. I just saw the other day an ad. Amazon is selling like uh cargo container Connex, like shipping container
yeah.
houses
Hmm.
for like 20 grand. And I thought about it. I was like, dude, like if we could buy that, that would be way cheaper than paying rent. And like I went through this
Yeah.
process. I was like, that actually might work. But you're living in a shipping container. But anyway, like,
Are they real shipping containers? Because
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. They're
there's
shipping
real shipping
containers that
containers.
they cut holes in and put windows and doors in.
Oh, okay.
Um, but
Because people like buy.
they look like Frank Lloyd Wright houses. Like I was
Yeah,
like, oh my god, that's insane.
because people buy them themselves and then realize like how fucked it is. Because like to do if you, unless you have the resources, because like they're like designed to leak or whatever. Because
Whoa,
like they're designed to leak once, basically.
right.
It's shit like this that people don't know, so that the rust builds up and then seals it, you know?
Mm.
So there's shit like that people don't know when they're like buying a real shipping container. Like this shit is not designed
To
to be a
live in,
fucking
dude.
house. Like,
Well, that's the thing, and then like this global fucking immiserated masses have no choice but to live in refrigerator boxes, like
yeah,
ultimately, and that's
yeah,
like I mean, I don't want to say like a comfortable middle class life, but I think there's a lot more people struggling who wouldn't admit like I live out here in the suburbs and my fucking rent, it's like $3,000, which is fucking insane, dude. Like
fuck,
it's a
bro.
tiny house but I
Holy
mean
shit.
it's a nice house for sure, but it's also like I remember being a kid thinking like, "Oh, dude, I want to buy $1 million house someday." And
Yeah.
now the $1 million houses are shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like you got to spend like 15 million if you want a nice house.
Yeah,
Like the $1 million houses out here in Phoenix are like
bro.
nothing special. Nothing
Yeah.
special.
You know what? You know what saying I fucking hate like so much for this reason is that first world problems.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that fucking saying so much because I feel like what it's really saying is like, be grateful. Be
Oh,
grateful for what
dude.
we give you. You know, and I'm
Dude.
like, do you know how you charge an arm and a fucking leg for everything we have? And it's
Yeah.
like just the rent-seeking bullshit on everything is
Yeah.
like, yeah, technically I have running water and shit, and like that's great.
But it's
I'm
got
glad I have
poisons in
AC
it,
and running
dude.
water. But it's got it's first of all, it's got poisons in it, and you charged me for it, motherfucker. And like I can
Yeah.
barely I have no time.
Yep.
I have no fucking time. And I'm like, I would trade if I had to walk like up and down like a mile of hills every day to get fresh water, but I
Yeah,
had
dude.
time besides that, dude,
Yes.
in an instant, trade
Yeah.
it. I will trade that in an
Yep.
instant. But like that
It's
almost doesn't exist unless I move to fucking Alaska or something. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that. Like I can't go out in the woods here and do that because poaching is illegal.
Yeah.
You know, like you know.
Well,
So
fuck, dude. Like they
yeah,
make it illegal to collect rainwater in a lot of municipalities. Like,
yeah. It's a everyone complains about that in Oregon. It's a fucking law here. It's fucking nuts.
that's insane,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah,
But no, like people, yeah, people who talk about first world problems, people who talk about like just consumerism and just
yeah.
those behaviors. It's and like convenience, like yeah, convenience is a real thing, and there are tons of examples where people make shitty, stupid choices just based on convenience. But it's
Hmm.
also true that the majority of people just don't have the time or the resources or even the mental and emotional energy to make the hard choice, and so they have no other option. Like it's framed as, oh, you're going for convenience, but really it's a false choice. It's
Hmm.
we're being immiserated.
Yeah,
um
yeah.
yeah,
It's like
it
I
sucks, dude.
love the Dead Kennedys fucking album. Give me convenience or give me death.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
once again they said that shit better like years ago, you know, than
Yeah.
anyone's even doing now because it's like that is like as much as everything you're saying is true, it's like there's also the other side of it where it's like the difference between being like you happen to be producing art during postmodernism and you are a postmodernist.
Yeah.
It's like how much do you buy into the ideology? Because some people, you do meet people and you're like, yeah, you would rather die than be inconvenienced. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, but like the ideology is there. What you're saying, I think, regardless of whether we believe in it, is the thing that I think you're getting at, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
absolutely true. You
No, I
know?
mean there's definitely people who just suck ass. But I think
Yeah.
most people who do shitty things um because they don't have like this space to be good,
Yeah.
good people. Like most shitty
Fuck yeah.
people are
Absolutely.
like stunted by the system. It's not that, oh,
Yeah.
that guy sucks, or oh, that girl's dumb or whatever. It's like, oh, they have a shitty life and they're just
Yeah.
like reacting, and they're in this scarcity mindset, and they really don't have a choice. They aren't aware that they have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
think we all can see that in ourselves
oh,
too.
for
And I think
sure.
we have to give ourselves the grace a little bit to be like, maybe this isn't 100% my fault, you know?
Yeah. Um,
Like, yeah.
the the pressure, and I think there's a lot of social pressure to do as one does. And I think people maybe discount that social pressure when they're talking about like behaviors and actions and individuals and shit like that. I think that social pressure um, is a material force just as much as actual material conditions. Like just as much as you literally don't have the money, you literally don't have the time, you literally
Yeah.
cannot do it. There's also the prevailing ideology, Das Man, whatever,
Yeah.
that kind of keeps the veil over your eyes, and it takes something, I don't know, big to kind of shock you out of that and wake you up.
Yeah. But
So
even if you're shocked out of it, like even if you fucking even if you get out of the cave and does it change anything if we do? Like can we even if we are all aware and we all know the facts and we're none of us are deceived anymore, would we even in that situation like have the power to change the way things are right now? And I don't know. I don't fucking know if
yeah,
that's the case, you
I
know?
think uh, I think we need to burn the cave down, but caves are made of rocks, and rocks don't burn. So no, but no, I think that's it. Like I think we are at this moment where it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Um, that's why, or maybe not why, but that's one of the reasons I've been kind of asking questions about history and about politics and about what is possible and the future and what can we do and what should
Yeah.
we do and this and that, because it's like, well, I definitely believe if we keep trying all the same things we've tried before, we're just going to make everything worse.
Yeah.
So we need to come
Absolutely.
up with like something new.
That's a good fucking point. Cause like it's not even a question. It's not really a question of can we do like for instance communism 2.0.
Yeah.
It's like a question of like if we were and this is why we don't do communism 2.0 is because everyone's worried if we do communism 2.0 again, it's just gonna make shit even worse
Yeah.
than it is now. If we try and do that shit again, it's gonna blow up in our face like it did last time, but this time even worse.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like that's where the unconscious is at. That's why it's like you try and give people a signifier like socialism or something, and like a few people buy onto it, but then most people are like, that's just a word, dude, and they're not interested, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I think that kind of bears out with people who people have been more interested in what's like exciting or what's libidinally charged.
Hmm.
Which is why, Trump and shit like that, and like that style of like bombastic and spectacular, I think is more popular than the performative left side of the things.
Yeah.
Because people aren't convinced that there even is a future, and so they're like they just want something now.
Hmm.
They're like, no, I don't believe in the future. I also don't believe in the present. So give me something that proves the present,
Mm.
and I'll be satisfied, and I'll kind of go back to work. I don't have time to worry about the implications or the ripple effects or the consequences of any of this shit.
Dude, what's crazy is that people think like that who have kids, though, you
Oh
know?
yeah, oh yeah,
That's what's crazy. I'm like, dude, do you know the world that's the thing is like the world that they're inheriting. Like I'm worried about that and I don't have kids, you
yeah,
know? So I'm like, what the fuck is going on that we don't care about the future, but we're still having like in less numbers, but we still are having kids and we're not thinking about the future, you know? It's like that's what's wild.
Yeah, dude. It's like we it's like we're all convinced that we're living in the end times. Maybe not all, but like the majority of people are just convinced that we're living in some turning. Maybe it's the end of the world, or maybe it's the beginning of the future. Like maybe technology is going to figure it out. We're going to solve all our problems, and everything will be fine. Like those are the two. Either we're all going to die tomorrow, or we're all going to live in utopia tomorrow. But they both allow you to not really care about the actual future that's like being projected out ahead of the way the world is right now. Because the way the world is right now is unsustainable. I don't think anybody thinks the world we live in is sustainable. I think everybody, for the most part, sees that something is coming. And maybe half the people are convinced we're all doomed, and maybe the other half are convinced Jesus is going to save us, or aliens are going to save us, or AI is going to save us.
To segue a little bit, it's almost like you're the that point in one of the pick an alien movie in any of them where like they know shit's bad and they're still walking further into the ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're like, we know we know that like shit's fucked, but we're like we've experienced some fucked up shit already, and like why the fuck haven't we turned the fuck around and left? It's like that disavowal thing that
Yeah.
like Lacanians will talk about, where it's like I know, but it's still, I know very well that
Nevertheless.
nevertheless, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, dude. So Alien, you were like, yeah, dude, Alien Covenant would be cool to talk about, and I was like, yeah, it would. And then I watched Alien Covenant, and then I thought about it, and then I was like, well, I have to watch Prometheus now. And then I watched the episode, like the new show, and then I watched like Alien.
Did you like the new show at all? Because I haven't watched it at all.
I think, yeah, I think I like it. I've watched 2 episodes of it now. It's very interesting. It seems like the guy who wrote it is trying to update Alien with like contemporary commentary on the world we live in today. Like there's an AI company and synths and this and that. It's made really well. He definitely cares about the franchise, and I think I like it. I think.
Yeah. I don't even want to watch it because to me, Alien is so cinematic that like I don't care about it on my TV at home.
Yeah.
That's just like instantly like I never got excited about it when I saw the trailers and shit. I'm just like, I want to see this in a movie theater. That's Alien to me. Alien belongs in a movie theater.
I didn't even know the show was coming out until Mikey told me about it.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh shit, I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's more cinematic than like Alien Covenant.
For real?
Yeah.
Even at home, it
Yeah.
feels more.
Yeah. Like they did a fucking great job. They really did. The thing with like Aliens, Alien 3, like the Alien mainline franchise, I think Ridley Scott has always kind of got in his own way as far as being able to effectively tell the story he was trying to tell. I do feel like with Alien Covenant and Prometheus, he had more control and more ability to do stuff, because Covenant, like all the stuff with the Christian guy and God, creator, father, son, creator, creation, this and that. Like, I think that's in the original Alien movies. I just don't think it's very evident because Fox didn't. They were like, no, Ridley, you can't make an art film. Like, this is a slasher. This is a fucking popcorn movie.
Yeah.
So I really do feel like Covenant and Prometheus occupy like a special place in the franchise. It's Ridley Scott really being able to ask questions and say the things he wanted to say. But I'm also always left with a feeling of like, okay, so what, dude? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, yeah. See, I like the general like overall when it comes to the alien movies. I just love the idea of like making it really like the post-human comes out of the human, literally.
yeah,
Like literally comes out of the human, like that which is going to destroy us and replace us, that's emerging from the human, you know. Just in general, that theme is awesome. And sometimes, like you said, it's done in more of like a kind of a goofy way or like a popcorn movie way. And sometimes it's like treated like really seriously as like a
yeah,
philosophical idea. Like you have both in the same franchise, you know.
yeah,
And that's why I love Alien Covenant. I just like I think that movie's fucking great and like kind of underrated. Um,
for sure,
'Cause
for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Because it's like it goes hard on the conceptual part of it, but there still is the popcorn movie there a little bit, you know?
yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I just watching Covenant. I feel like it's a bit heavy-handed when the dude
Mm.
he's like, "Oh, a man of faith can't make logical decisions," and like I was like, "That okay?
Oh, yeah.
That's a little corny." Like maybe, and maybe I felt called out. Maybe I was like, because I identified with that. I was like, yeah, I would prefer my spaceship captain to not be overtly religious.
Right.
Probably, like I
But
would
dude,
probably prefer that.
that's a good point that the movie makes, though, at the same time, because, like, what is our. I feel like there's a religious devotion to, like, technology,
Oh, for sure.
going on. And I feel like that's kind of a commentary on, like, well, can we really say that, like, religious people are the problem when, like, you turn around and then, like, the amount of, like, religious dedication people have to, like, technology and like, the corporate order is like, dude, we are dying for this.
Yeah.
We are prepared to die for the world as it is, in the
Yeah.
world as it's becoming, in the direction it's going. You know,
But is that so? Is
give me
that
convenience or give me death,
yeah?
right?
Is
Yeah.
that in the movie, or are you reading that into the movie?
Well, I think it's definitely in the movie because just I think so because like the just amount of like stupidity that like really works for a horror movie plot
Yeah.
of like people just pressing on no matter fucking what, no matter that it's obvious that this is gonna consume them too, but the
Yeah.
corporation just keeps developing the technology no matter what. You know,
Mm,
I feel like that's very much in all the Alien movies, you know.
yeah. I guess
But
I
like we
didn't.
are our own undoing. It's coming from in us to eat us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it like the fact that like Wayland Yutani is trying to develop these bioweapons and the
Yeah.
engineers uh they created humanity, but then they also created this bioweapon to wipe out humanity because they were unhappy with humanity. Like the
Yeah, I guess they were just bored.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it is true. Like like there's definitely some anti-capitalist sentiment or whatever in the Alien movies, and I think in most of Ridley Scott's movies, he has some kind of he's trying to ask questions or trying to say something about like emancipation in some way.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Like I feel like Ridley Scott is his own worst enemy. I feel like Ridley Scott movies would be better if they didn't let him in the editing room.
Do you feel that way about well, it's that might maybe that's true in some cases, but it's got to be the opposite when it comes to Blade Runner
No,
because like
dude,
because the studios ruined Blade Runner and then it
he
was only
also
when
ruined
he
it.
got to fix it. What do you mean? What do you
Like
mean? When they added
the
that fucking
original director's cut was also jacked up. The final cut that's out now, like
yeah,
Blade
yeah,
Runner, the final cut, that's not the
yeah.
first director's cut. Like they,
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah,
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 dude. I think there
yeah,
were
yeah.
5 releases of Blade Runner. There
I
was
don't know if I've ever watched the original director's cut then. I've seen the theatrical release, which is dog shit, and I've seen the
the one with the
like
voiceover.
the one that yeah, that one's dog shit, and then I've seen the one that's like the most probably the most popular version of it now. But I don't know if
The
I've
final
seen
cut.
it. the final cut, but I don't know if I've seen the director's cut or not. Or
I
maybe I
think
did and I blocked it out because it, maybe it was bad too. I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
the director's cut and the final cut and the original home release, like there's really only like maybe 2 minutes difference between all of them. But so there was the theatrical cut, the original home release,
Yeah.
the director's cut. I think there was another one, and then there's the final cut. I think you can probably buy like a Blu-ray or something that has it
I think
all.
you can. Yeah, yeah.
I have a Blu-ray, and I think I've seen all the different versions of it. But even with that, like I love Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite movies.
Love
but
it.
I also feel like this could be better, dude. I don't know.
I feel like that movie's fucking perfect. I love that movie so much.
No, dude. And maybe it's because I read the book before,
Oh,
like really, like
I read it after.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he made like there's a lot of changes that are made, and some of them are, I think, necessary to translate the book to film.
It's very different though than
It is
than the Philip K. Dick. Yeah.
It's pretty
very
different. There's some weird choices that he made, but no.
Well, the whole animals thing is just not there at all in the movies.
Yeah.
Not like it's such a big part of the book, and then it's like barely there in the movies. Yeah.
Well, they couldn't really do much. They like he gave it a little shout out with the owl in the Tyrell headquarters
and the snake.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like Ridley Scott is maybe a little high on his own farts, I guess, maybe.
Why do you say that though? Like why what is it about him that you just think it's too heavy-handed, like thematically? Is that
Well, I think I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe I feel that way just to like perform being the contrarian and being like, oh yeah, he's actually not that good, because he has made great movies and he's been involved in great franchises.
He's made some shit movies too, to be fair, but
yeah.
But I feel like when he makes like I don't know. I feel like he's like to me, Ridley Scott is like the best of popular culture in a way, though, because like because to me he's able to give you the popcorn movie, and then he's also able to give you to like inject some really interesting fucking ideas into it as well, and it might not always be executed perfectly, at all, but like it's still. I feel like for what he's doing, for what he has to work with in like the Hollywood system, I feel like he's doing it like monumentally well,
Yeah, probably.
Because they don't want art films.
Yeah.
And also, but it's not like but he also loves the popcorn movie at the same time. So it's not like he's like completely outside, or like burrowing into Hollywood from within to destroy it. It's not any of that bullshit. He's like genuinely trying to give you both as much as he can, because I think for him, if I had to guess, right, for him, the having like high art themes inside the popcorn movie makes both better.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Raised by Wolves? It was an HBO TV show. I think they only did 2 seasons.
Never did.
I'm pretty sure Ridley Scott did. Let me look it up. Pretty sure Ridley Scott was involved in that. But that was super duper heavy-handed. It was about like space atheists and space conquistadors and crusaders.
Well, that sounds fun. Is it just like too heavy-handed? Yeah,
because the whole time, like, they're like, we believe in God, and then the other people are like, we don't believe in God, and the atheists are the good guys, and the Mithraists or whatever are the bad guys, and they're basically like the monotheists. And it was like, okay, this is cool, and it definitely looks really good, and it's got great production value, and it's acted and shot well, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, why? Like, I don't care about God, dude. I don't want to. Like, God's not that interesting. God can't be interesting enough to make a bunch of movies about God, a TV show about God.
The one thing I wanted to say about like the like sort of Christian atheism, I don't know how much you want to get into this shit or not, but like the Christian atheism thing is like I feel like and the reason why I like to read like Reformation era shit, and the reason why I love like Dostoevsky too,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like
yeah.
I think that I think it's throughout all of human history, like people are talking about like when people are talking about God, yeah, they're talking about this like metaphysical conception of like this like interventionist creator or whatever, but they're also talking about the unconscious. You know what I mean? Like Martin Luther was a fucking lunatic, dude. He was fucking crazy. But like there's like a it's apocryphal, but it's like kind of representative of the same time of like other shit he did talk about. Like there's the tower that he like lived in for a while. There's like a ink splatter on the ground like by the wall because he famously threw his inkwell at the devil, you know?
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like it's an apocryphal story, but it's like no, he's wrestling with it, but he does talk about like devils and fighting and wrestling with demons and shit. And I'm like, dude, when he's talking about that shit, he's totally talking about like inner demons. He's talking about like, yeah, he thinks they're real, but he's talking about fighting, battling his unconscious too, you know, at the same time. So it's like people are using different words to talk about something that only much later do we decide is like we take up in a more systematic way that's
Yeah.
divorced from the metaphysical claims. So like there's content there is what I'm saying. And like even Freud thought that too. Freud studied religions because he's like in them he can see the unconscious is there.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
one of the things that people are getting at, you know. Even though I think like Totem and Taboo is like his worst book, but for different reasons. The reason why he wrote it is more like what I'm interested in. But
Yeah. Well, I think
yeah.
I mean that's evident. I think also in Jung, where Jung is
Yeah.
trying to do this thing where he's taking the unconscious and trying to put it back in the metaphysical space.
Right, and I
Whereas
just say my problem with Young is that like I just say it's already there. You don't have to like, you know what I
right,
mean? It's
right,
already
right, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like I like I love I like Jung and I like Freud, and I think Freud is definitely weird, maybe just as weird as Jung. It's just he
Yeah.
doesn't get like marketed it that way because but
Yeah.
the thing with that is oh
Oh, did you lose
yeah
me? Am I still here? You can
I
hear me still?
yeah I can hear you.
Oh, I unplugged myself, I think.
Oh no, dude.
But you can finish your thought while I'm trying to replug this in. Well,
um I think using the tools that are available to you is all you can do. So
yeah.
like discussing the unconscious and discussing these weird things and throughout history using God and the metaphysical as a way to talk about stuff like lived experience, stuff that people were dealing with and didn't have any other words to discuss it. I think that's great. But I think with modernity and with humanism and with the idea of the subject, it allows us to see where religion and where the idea of God actually is the absence of the unconscious, and like like God makes it impossible to be a subject. Like the idea of reconciliation and the idea of perfect unity and harmony, and it's all like substantiation. It's the fantasy of substantiation. We're going to become essential objects when we reunite with God, and the entire universe is a substantial object because everything operates according to God's will, and He set everything in motion. But because there's this there's telos and there's this eschatology, it's all going to wind up once again in this essential objective stasis, and
Yeah.
I think that is anti-human.
Mm.
So I think we need a radical break from this idea of like, yeah, it's true they were using God and religion and spirituality to
Mm.
discuss things that are all too human, but I also think it's true that we discovered, wait, this is all too human. This doesn't have to do with God and divinity, and this
Right.
isn't This isn't outside of us.
Yeah.
Well, it is outside of us in this extimate kind of way, but like just the notion of God is the static object. To
Mhm.
be extremely reductive.
Yeah.
And I think that is the most anti-human
Yeah.
like position to champion. Like
Yeah.
we need to defend subjectivity. We need to defend incompleteness. Earlier we were talking about, well, maybe there are some things that we could say for sure about the world, and it was incompleteness, motion,
Yeah.
and maybe finality. Maybe not even finality. Maybe everything is infinite, but at the very least,
And you have to add representation in the way that like or perception, right?
well,
That
that but
that
that
that exists, right?
that only exists from our point of view. So yeah, it does exist. And I would also say if you're going to include representation, you have to include negation, because negation is
Yeah.
where representation
Yes.
becomes intelligible to us. But what does that mean? It means we are subjects. And so that's like a doubling down on incompleteness.
Hmm.
So our
Yeah.
world is essentially incomplete.
Hmm.
God's world is complete and unitary and whole. And like to
Yeah.
me, I think that's the stand we need to be taking right now here at a time in history when capitalism and AI and technologies are moving us toward a world of objectification. The
Yeah.
essay Mikey and I just had published with Alfie, shout out Alfie, talking about superegoic AI, like a huge part of that is how this kind of super egoic injunction is working with capital/artificial intelligence to move us into this world of objectification. Like
Hmm.
it's becoming machine. That's
Yeah.
the final plateau that capital wants for us.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like that matters more to me than some notion of a historical tradition. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
true. Like the church was the house of humanism. Sure, I'm okay with that. But we took it. We wrestled it out of the hands of the church, and
Hmm.
I think it's dangerous to allow the church to take it back, because
Yeah.
I think the church, I think God is the same exact thing as capital, as AI, saying
Yeah.
that no, it's all this teleological motion towards essential, substantial uh, objectification.
Mm.
Like
Hmm.
we're subjects, dude. I don't want to. I don't want to be a little object sitting on God's shelf.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think so. Here's what I like to bounce off of the head of people who are like I seem to think are to some degree more anti-religious than I
For
am. Like I'm
sure.
not religious, but I feel like
But you're
like
more
so so
okay
this
with it than I am. Yeah.
but I sort of but like here's what I'm okay with is like this is what I like to bounce off of people's heads is like I think mysticism is negative. I think mysticism represents negation, right? It's okay with the unconscious, it's okay with that sort of thing. So like individual religious experience, I take no fucking issue with, right?
For sure.
I think that religion is the positivization of mysticism.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You know, so that's how I want to like define religion by contrast with mysticism, you know? So like there are Christian mystics like I like reading Simone Weil. Like I who
Yeah.
and she's someone who I like have a lot of respect for intellectually. And dude, when I'm reading her, I'm like, maybe she's fucking right. Maybe like what she doesn't have the idea of like God to her is not a person. She's very clear about that. And I'm like, maybe this God that she's talking about, like maybe that's real for all I fucking know. Maybe she did have a real experience with this God. And I'm like, that I'm like, how could I know? I don't fucking know. Like I guess I'm like agnostic on that. But I'm
Yeah.
like, as much as that's like become a stupid fucking word, but it's like but I just like I have no problems with people like having it's like some kind of mystical relationship with the beyond, with the divine, with that sort of thing. But I do think that like religion does tend to sort of appropriate that experience, that like metaphysical experience for its own purposes, you know.
Yeah.
But even though as soon as I say that though, I'm like, but I don't want that to go into this like stupid, like I'm spiritual, not
Spiritual,
religious
not
thing.
religious. Yeah, dude.
You know, so
So
I hate that too. So it's like, you know, I
that's
think
my
that's worse. I
problem.
would rather have you be like, I almost think that's in some ways worse, you know?
No,
So
that's my problem with postmodern Jesus.
yeah,
Uh get like no, if you're gonna if you're gonna claim to have a belief system, I think you need to actually have that belief system. So like fundamentalism, more power to you, dude. Like I
yeah,
respect the shit out of people who can actually live by those principles. I really do. Like I know it's difficult. Um and if you can live in a way that clings to any framework in the shitty, horrible postmodern churn that we live in, more power to you.
yeah,
Um so the postmodern Jesus, I'm spiritual, not religious. That shit pisses me off. I can't fucking stand it. Just be an atheist or just be an agnostic. Just say, yeah, I don't know. I don't
yeah,
care. It clearly doesn't
yeah,
matter to you. It clearly
yeah,
doesn't matter to you because you're more concerned with work, probably. Like you're more concerned with your base needs than you are with, you know, your soul. And I
yeah, yeah,
empathize
yeah,
with you. But I also like just have the courage and say, yeah, I don't know, because it causes so much tension and it causes so much like social friction and it causes ostracization and it serves as a vehicle for abuse and like really really fucked up shit as this wishy-washy make it whatever you want it can be whatever you want it to be thing. Like there's like
yeah,
untold horrors that fly under the name of religion because the people are allowed to get away with being heathens like me,
right.
but they get the social credit of being a religious person or whatever. And
Yeah, yeah.
I do
I
like
guess,
characterizing religion as positivistic and mysticism as negative because I'm totally okay with it. Like I don't know. There could be fuck dude. I believe time isn't real and fucking like I believe all kinds of weird shit. So it
yeah,
like individual embodied experience and spiritual connection with the outside.
yeah,
That's not the problem.
right.
The problem is when you want to over identify and you want to say that this is the only pathway forward. It's like that's the same pathway capitalism has us on. That's the same
Right.
pathway that communism would have us on too. Like
Yeah.
this idea
Yeah.
of a harmonious reconciliation, I think, is the problem. So that's where I
Right.
take issue with the positivistic religion.
Yeah. 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 No, for real. And I think that's why I like these philosopher Christians. That's why I can fuck with them. Like I like Dostoevsky. I like
I
Simone
do
Weil,
love Dostoevsky.
Kierkegaard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like these people. Even I would almost even say John Brown, even though his like he's
Mhm.
not writing, but his like his life is its
He
own like
put in that work,
testimony. You
dude.
know, he put in that work. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, so I like these people because, and I would say Erasmus too, um,
Yeah.
because I like that if you make it your own, like you're part of a tradition loosely, but you really make it your own. I feel like I can fuck with that
Yeah.
because like you're being, it's God to you is clearly not just like the big other. It's clearly not just like your daddy. You
Right.
know, it's your cosmic daddy. If you really are making it your own, and I feel like all those people I just named, all of them did that. They
Sure.
all made it their own. So they're like in the tradition, but they're not like over conformed to the tradition, you
Yeah.
know? And those people I can fuck with. It's the overconformism that you're talking about, which is like the issue, whether it's like a hysterical overconformism or especially like a perverse sort of overconformism in a way.
Well, I think now it largely it's neither. I think now it largely comes from a position of genuine lack. Like people just don't have the equipment to problematize this and so
Yeah,
they're doing it robotically. It's not hysterically. They don't have a say in the matter. It's not
yeah,
perverse because like there's no distance. There is no like for these things to operate, we need negation, we need prohibition, we need uh the freedom to choose. And I think we're on track. Like history has us on these train tracks where people are losing agency. So I think it probably was very perverse in like feudal times, probably.
Well, I think there's a lot of perversity. I mean, literal and like if we're using
yeah.
the word like clinically, right? In the Catholic Church, and there always has been, and there always
For
will
sure.
be.
For
You
sure.
know, like I think bureaucracies just kind of attract that shit, whether they're very large or
Well, yeah,
relatively
dude.
small. You know,
The
they love
bureaucracy is
bureaucracy.
nothing but institutionalized perversion.
Yeah, for real. It really is. Like, you know, because that's perverse incentives. Like
Yeah.
even the colloquial usage of perverse fits with this like clinical thing. It creates perverse incentives. They do, you know.
Yeah, dude.
And like the Catholic Church has had fucking issues with pedophilia since at least like the 1500s, like at least
Well,
documented, you
yeah,
know.
whenever they decided dudes can't get married,
I'm pretty sure there's a dude that's still a saint who they know.
fuck
I could be
kids.
wrong. I could get
Oh,
some of the details wrong on this, but I think this is true. So
yeah.
I think that there's still someone who is still a saint who they've always known. It's documented public knowledge that this guy was a fucking pedophile also. And he's
Shout
still a
out in
saint.
comment section. Feel free
Yeah,
to
tell me if I'm wrong.
feel free to comment below. I don't disbelieve it. I think
Yeah.
well, and that's another thing too. And you also see it with um frontier Christianity, Mormonism, and like the Quakers and the Shakers. Although the Shakers were based,
Dude, the Quakers were fucking cool. They
no,
were on the
yeah,
right side of fucking everything, you know?
yeah,
Like,
the Quakers and
yeah.
the Shakers were based, but even that,
But
like,
where are the Quakers now? There's like five of them, you know what I mean? Like, what are they? I know they still exist, but I'm like, compared to like their role in history back then, like,
right,
why don't we hear about Quakers anymore doing cool shit, you
because
know?
it's
Like,
not postmodern
represent.
enough. It's not a shiny commodity.
Fuck, I
Um,
guess.
and it's like the Amish and the like, I don't know, man, like power. Um, Power's a fucked up thing, and people with power sometimes do fucked up shit. I don't know. It just ultimately
But
it sucks that like religion and this notion of like good and divinity uh, very often serves as like cover for just perverts, like bad shit, people with power doing
yeah,
hurtful,
yeah,
harmful shit. But that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like that's not the main problem. Like the main problem is, or my main problem is I think it's all too essential. Like it's all too substantial. Like it's
Yeah.
and we always have we're always gonna have our own fantasies and stuff, but we also need to be able to develop critical distance and be like, okay, I know this is a fantasy,
Yeah.
and I just
But the
don't.
religion, I guess my only point to like I was talking to my like uber atheist friend I
Yeah.
mentioned before we started recording. It was like my only point to people like that is just like who I love the guy, he's great, but like we just don't quite see eye to eye, and a lot of that's background shit. Like he grew up in a fucking
Yep.
theocracy, I didn't, you know, so a lot of that's our own background. So it's like I get it. But like I feel like yeah, not only would the world, I don't think that the world would be necessarily a better place without religion. It would just be like different, but like not better necessarily. But also like I just see religious devotion, like I was talking about with Covenant,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all around me. Like the religion. Just because we've killed the thing called religion doesn't mean we've like if we have, which is debatable, but like let's say we have,
Sure.
let's say we do that, like if we kill that thing in the world, well, it's the place in our heads, in our souls, where like using that word very loosely, right? The place in our heads where like religion lives, that category, that's still there, whether we've killed what we called religion out in the world or not.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
have a religious mindset, whether or not religion exists. So, like, of course, we are going to just create new gods the
Yeah.
second
No.
you'll dead, you know? So technology, right?
Yeah. I think we are. I think we have made we've made AI into a new god, and I think we've also made like aliens into a new god. Um, and we've made history itself into a god. Like for the people who, like for the communists, like I think that's it. Like for the communists, like history is their god.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I think I don't know. Like when it comes to talking about Christian atheism, I wonder like, well, why do we even have to take that up? Like, why can't we say let's be subjectivists? Let's be humanists. Like let's legitimately develop like a universalism. Let's not tie it to history because history is a god. Let's not tie it to capital and technology because capital and technology are a new god. And let's not tie it to old dead religions. Like we might as well tie it to Zoroastrianism. We might as well tie it to Baha'ism. We might as well tie it to Hinduism. Now I understand 57% of the world identifies as belonging to an Abrahamic faith. Mikey and I were just talking about this, and it's 57% identifies as Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. So the majority of the world belongs to an Abrahamic faith. Of that number, the majority are Christians. And let's keep it real, when it comes to the future, America is the cultural hegemon. Most Americans who are religious are Christian. So it makes sense to talk about Christianity as like metonymously. Like, yes, I'm also talking about religion in general, although there's very valid differences between like Eastern and Western religions. I still think it's problematic. I still think ultimately, like, the idea of nirvana is an objectified state. But like
it can be right, but it can be. I think it can be negative, right? It can be both.
It can't. Yeah. Well, it can't. And there's very valid differences between like Taoism and Zen Buddhism and it's a very rich world. And I do take religion very seriously, and it's fascinating. It really is fascinating. But also, I just get so frustrated, and I'm like, yeah, we all know this. Let's stop talking. Let's stop using any type of religion as any type of framing at all, ever, anymore, ever again. Like I think I am a pretty fervent agnostic, we'll say. I'm pretty atheistic, but I'm open to whatever. But I'm pretty I don't know, but it also doesn't fucking matter. There's shit that does matter.
I don't think it matters. Yeah. If there's one thing that doesn't matter, I just can't. No one's ever going to convince me, especially that God gives a shit if he exists. What the fuck I believe about him? That's so absurd to me. He's personally offended to the point that he's going to send me to hell because I'm like, nah, I just don't really see it, dog. You know what I mean?
No,
it's just so ridiculous. He's not an angry dude. This is the creator of the universe, motherfucker.
But
this makes no sense.
The thing is, dude, Yahweh would get upset. Yahweh would throw you to hell because you weren't his ride or die. If you read the Bible and if you take it seriously, it is really all that serious. Yeah.
He does get kind of vindictive back there.
He's a jealous God, dude. I'm a jealous God, right? And I think people should be free to engage with their soul, their spirit, whatever. Because we do have some weird extimate thing. It's true. It's undeniable.
I don't want to completely throw the fucking Old Testament under the bus though, because I don't know. There's my favorite story is what is it when where the name Israel comes from? That it
Jacob?
means wrestle. Yeah. Where it means wrestles with God because he literally wrestles with
he wrestled with the angels.
That's fucking beautiful. Right, I know, but the name translates to wrestles with God, right?
Yeah.
So this is, I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful, and I think that's interesting because it's wrestles with God. It's not completely is devoted to God. That's not what it means. It means you struggle with God. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of beautiful.
It is. So I think ultimately, for me, the Bible's just way too incoherent to take seriously as real stuff. Because you're right. Like there are these moments of like abject beauty, the
Well,
sublime
yeah,
even.
it's not real. I don't think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I don't think like the miracles in Exodus fucking happened. I think that's like absurd, right? It's
yeah,
ridiculous. But like, I think that like to read it as like literature, to read it as
yeah.
myth, to read it as something as like I said before, like the unconscious and people struggling with that with themselves, like wrestling with themselves. Like I think that is an interesting way to read it.
That's beautiful and a pointed insight into the kind of the horror of being a human, right? Like we do wrestle with
Yeah,
ourselves. But then,
yeah.
also like go kill all the women and children. Like that's in the same fucking.
Dude, you know what's crazy is that like the with the Canaanites, it's like the archaeological evidence and the genetic evidence suggests that they didn't actually do that, which is like wild. That they said so in the Bible they said that they did it. Like they're like there it was a flex, it appears. Like based on what we
It was
know
a
now
diss
about like the
track, dude.
genetic evidence. Yeah,
It
it was
was
like
a
a diss
diss
track. It was like a
track.
flex. Like, look, we massacred all these motherfuckers, and then the genetic evidence is like, nah, man. Like you didn't actually do that shit.
Well, it's
But like it's fucked up that it's in there. Or like it's fucked up that what like if that is the character of God, then that's like
yeah.
obviously
Go
that's fucked. But like that's why it is incoherent, and so reading it as something that's incoherent,
yeah.
that's what I mean. It's like it's wrestling with yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like and that's what you can read. It's these pre-modern subjects wrestling with themselves and trying to
Well,
figure out how
but
to fucking live and exist and
dude,
you
you can
know.
fucking read the I Ching. That's just as contradictory. That's just as
Yeah.
fucking weird and mystical. Uh
Yeah.
and I think I don't know, it's like why are we still talking about God? Like why are we now I say that in the same breath as
I
saying
think
God is evil because God is this cosmic object, and we need to give up on on this idea of reconciliation. Like I'm saying
yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
the statement I'm
I
coming out and
agree.
saying,
I
while
agree.
also saying let's stop using Christianity and religion and atheism as a framing for anything.
Hmm.
I think a more effective, more germane thing to do is like let's talk about universalism. Let's talk about humanism.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I mean, even modernity, like the project of modernity, wouldn't that be a really cool thing to kind of to wrestle with? Because it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
an exercise in, well, God is dead. So now what do we do? Are we going to erect a human framework? Well,
Yeah.
it turns out we didn't erect a human framework. We erected a capitalist framework,
All right.
and
Right.
that turned into a new theology for us all, where kind
Yeah.
of sign value became this new uh, ethical
Yeah.
thing. So
I guess what I'm trying to say is I just think that the religious, like, it comes from the human. And so to say that, like, we're going to just do a humanism without religion, well, okay, but where did religion come from? There's a need that it's satisfying. There's an itch that it's scratching, a core to us, which
sure,
is
sure, sure.
why we transpose immediately. Like we create, like technology is now the new God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Convenience is now the new fucking God. So I think like it might be different a little bit, but it's like, we have this religious devotion even if we don't have these old religions. And so like to me, it's the itch that it's scratching, which is what reading, studying old religions can help us illuminate. Is like what about the human is
Yeah.
being lit up by the religious.
Well, I think
Um,
you can get there by reading Descartes and Levinas and Lacan. Like you don't even like
but
I
Lacan was steeped in Augustine. Like Lacan wouldn't have got there without Augustine, you
right,
know.
right, right. But I wouldn't
And
be
and 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 who you said Lacan? Who else did you say?
Levinas, who
Levinas,
was a
Levinas that
devout
comes out of the
believer.
Jewish
Yeah, yeah,
tradition,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But
So
I mean, I grew up listening to uh the fucking, I don't know, Dead Kennedys. Fuck it, we'll say Dead Kennedys. But like if I went around constantly trying to like carry the torch of the dead Kennedys, I don't know, that just seems like you're beating a dead horse. Like we have moved
oh,
forward. Like we have
right.
we
Yeah.
God is dead in this sense. Not to say, and I don't know,
Punk
people
is dead.
listening, punk rock is
Yeah.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And it just it seems to me like it would be more effective to just leave it open, and rather than trying to make any bold proclamations or grand proclamations about religion, I think it makes more sense to say, look, many of us have this relationship with something else, and that's fine. Many of us don't. Like that. Like there are some people who are gonna be the hard atheists and the anti-theists and the hard materialists and physicalists and this and that. And I don't know. I don't think it matters anymore. Like I think we've gone to this point where we're in danger of losing our humanness and asking about God when it's like, well, yeah, but God is a human concern. And we're still too concerned with God. We're still too concerned with history. We're still too concerned with essences and this and that. And we're like tippy-toeing on the precipice of this cliff of like, we're no longer concerned with the fact that we are on a teleological track to be wiped off the face of the earth, either literally or figuratively, in this way of like we become Demolition Man people, right? Like we're all just kind of following this super egoic, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, and everybody's happy all the time, and no one has agency. And
right, I love that movie, dude. Verhoeven, right? That's Verhoeven, isn't it?
No,
the director. What am I thinking?
Verhoeven, dude?
Isn't it?
No, he only did 3 sci-fi films, and then he did Showgirls.
Oh, what am I thinking of? Fucking. I know what you're talking about. Demolition Man.
Demolition Man with Stallone and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the one with fucking
Total Recall.
Schwarzenegger. Total Recall. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
but I know what you're talking about with that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, Total Recall's good. Yeah, Verhoeven, dude, he did Total Recall, RoboCop, and what's the third fucking?
RoboCop, Total Recall, Starship Troopers.
Yeah, the one that everyone confuses. Well, people confuse the book a lot for being like in favor of fascism when it's like, dude, this is clearly critical of fascism.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
You clearly haven't seen his European films. Like, you haven't seen Black Book if you think he's like pro-fascist, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that you would need to, because like you said, it's obvious as fuck.
Yeah,
but
dude.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, where were we? Yeah.
I don't know. We were kind of just like rambling and spinning out and
yeah,
spinning out about religion, but I think it's like that is evidence. At least me, like, I just think I think it's such a dead end. Like, I don't want to say it's not worth anything, because again, I think it's fascinating, and I think you can gain tons of insights from like the history of religion and studying it.
Yeah.
But I also I think if we sit around and like romanticize about how important it is, like, no, we're missing out on like the history of the 20th century and the 21st century, where we do live in this godless world. But guess what? Yeah. God is now a computer. Everything is a computer. We're fucked. We're running out of time. It frustrates the shit out of me.
No, like, I think to me, reading like religious thinkers, reading old religious texts, etc., is only useful if you're doing it with an eye to humanism, to illuminating what the human is.
Yeah.
What itch this is scratching, religion is scratching in the human.
Yeah.
To me, that's the only reason why it would be useful. It's to that end. I care about the human a lot more than I care about God.
Yeah.
So
I think most people probably do.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because I think, and I'm convinced that we can develop like a universalism without religion.
Oh, this brings me to what I was thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you can if you have more, go ahead though.
I not only am I convinced that we can, I'm almost convinced that it's necessary. I'm almost
Yeah,
convinced that we cannot develop a true universalism if we don't eschew religion because it's so
right.
divisive and it's
Yeah, yeah.
so charged.
So that leads me to a couple things. Like one of them was that leads me to René Girard, right? Which is like a strange figure who I want to read everything he wrote because I want to like get inside this motherfucker's head, you
Yeah.
know, because it's like he wrote like how like it's so weird to wrap your head around the fact that you wrote Violence and the Sacred and then also became a practicing Catholic and like his whole family converted. When like in Violence and the Sacred, the theory is basically this Hobbesian theory of religion
Yeah.
specifically, where it's like it's we're taking all of the violence that we want to do to each other every fucking day in society, and religion is channeling that outside of the community to undesirables,
Yep.
to other nations, other communities. So it organizes the violence of society is basically what he's arguing in that book. Um, so it's weird that you would be like, oh, also I'm like into that. Like I want to be part of that, you know? But at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same time, he's like to him, it's like it's not escapable, I think also. Like it's like this is the human. This is how we are. We are these religious, violent creatures, and we need religion to organize our violent impulses in a way, you know? So he's just if nothing else, he's just a fascinating
For
thinker and
sure.
like a really
For sure.
um original thinker.
Also
But I
very
also want to
timely. Very timely.
yeah,
There
yeah,
and
yeah. I think so too. Yeah.
I have to say I'm suspicious of Girard. I
That's fair. That's
yeah.
totally fair. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, continue.
But what makes you say that before? Yeah. What makes you say that?
Because I think I think we're better than that. And I think he's settling on an outdated notion of the human and civilization. And
Yeah.
I think he's allowing that to become a justification for him pursuing uh his own presuppositions.
Hmm.
I think he isn't critical enough about like where he's at. Like where does he fit into all this mix and all this
Yeah.
kind of structure? Like I think he might be kind of libidinally invested in this kind of otherizing. But I think it's a bridge too far to make that claim about the human as such and civilization as
Hmm.
such. And I think it's just very convenient. Honestly, to be honest, I think
Yeah.
Girard is way too convenient for reactionary people. Way too
Hmm.
convenient. I think there's a
Well, I
lot of
think
reactionary sentiment that gets laundered by
yeah.
Girard. And I
To me he's so interesting because he steelmans
yeah,
conservatism in a
yeah.
way that's like really useful to me because I'm actually working on like I want it's probably gonna become a fucking book. It's gonna
Fuck
be
yeah.
too big.
Fuck
You
yeah.
know, like is a like basically like a dialogue, whether I would write it like a literal dialogue or not is a separate thing.
That's
But
dope.
but between Marcuse and Girard,
That's
is
dope.
like the two poles of it because like to me, Marcuse is like no, like the human is like chill, man. Like to him, he's like, no, we can overcome. We can. They're like opposite poles because, like, to him, to Marcuse is like, we can have this. Like he dares to believe that we can have this kind of utopia.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Which is like super useful to have as like an opposite pole.
Yeah.
Even though, to my knowledge, I don't even think they ever read each other or interacted in any way.
Yeah.
Maybe René Girard read a little bit of Marcuse for all I know, but he doesn't play any role in his work or in his thought. So it's like, but like that's why it's such an interesting poll. It's like, and it's very much like a left steel man versus a right steel man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because like Marcuse, I insist that he is not fucking naive at all, and that's
Mm.
what I hate about a lot of the misreadings of him is that like he believes that human nature is a lot better than Girard does, right? But I don't think he's naive at all. I think
I
he's
feel the
rigorous.
same way about
Yeah.
Rousseau.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I
so
really
too.
do.
But people say the same shit about Rousseau that he's like
Exactly.
blindly naive. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So you could do the same thing is bring Rousseau into that
Yeah.
debate too. And so then you could also do like
But
a
you could do
subpart of
Hobbes
that
and
would be like,
Rousseau and Girard and
yeah,
Marcuse.
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. And so like I think Girard and Marcuse are like the updated version of that
That's
same,
dope. That's dope.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so that's interesting. So I'm like I don't know what what humans are like in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you can see it makes sense. Like the conservatives seem like they're right, and then
Yeah.
the liberals seem like they're right because it's like it seems like human nature on some day you ask me human nature is vile and despicable and we're monsters, and then the next day you ask me and I'm like we're not that bad. So it's like I don't know. Am I a conservative or am I a fucking communist? I don't. I ask me on the day and I'll tell you. You know what I
Well, you
mean?
got to read some of this fucking guy, dude.
Oh,
Telling
I
you.
have that. I haven't read it yet, but I think Mikey was talking about it, and so I like bought it.
Honestly,
Uh,
I would tell you to
maybe I
read.
need to read that.
I would recommend Erotism and Death over the
Yeah,
Accursed Share for
yeah.
that topic. Now, I do think the
For like
Accursed.
human nature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do think the Accursed because again, I care more about the general economy than I do about Bataille's version of subjectivity. But I think Erotism and Desire is or Erotism and Death uh,
Yeah.
kind of goes into that, and also Lacan, like just this notion of like I think the notion of a essential nature is absurd. Like we're going to construct limits and we're going to necessarily transgress them. We're going to have
Mhm.
prohibition and we're going to necessarily buck that, like necessarily. So like I think we just as much as we have an essential nature, which we do to an extent, we're also always products of our environment. Always.
Yeah.
So I think to talk about human
Yeah.
nature in the course of human history that's been largely dominated by power, by exploitation, by genocide, by
Mm.
these horrible things, I think in general, on balance, you're going to see more worse shit. But
Yeah.
also, it's
And
like,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
we've
And
been
that's
living in the
Marcuse.
shit. We've been living in the shit. What
Yeah,
do you expect?
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and that would be Marcuse for sure because like to him this is why he has this like separation between like there's repression and there's surplus repression. Like
Right.
and that we get and this is I'm convinced of. I'm totally convinced of this that like we get so much worse when we are like surplus repressed. We
Yeah.
get so much worse. Like that's when we get horribly violent. Like something that's really interesting is that like um statistics they pulled up the numbers on the actual numbers that the fuck what's it called the Spanish Inquisition kept on what they actually did, and like in Catholic Spain the actual conviction rates leading to death were like 8 or 9%, and then you compare that to what when people were turned over to the civil authorities
Yeah.
uh, in Europe, like 90% conviction to death. So like the Inquisition was like fucking benign
Whoa.
compared to what else was going on at the same time. And like to the point that in Spain when people and this shit only came up like in the like late 90s. Scholars didn't even know this until like the late 90s. But like there are accounts in Spain of people blaspheming when they're in custody of the civil authorities, so that they would be transferred to the Inquisition.
Oh shit.
They were literally trying to get transferred to the Inquisition, but because everyone based their like opinion of the Inquisition on Protestant accounts,
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh, the Inquisition's horrible," and it's like, well. Yeah, they still burn people alive. I'm not saying it was great, but it's like compared to what Protestants did, which they
Right.
didn't prosecute people. They turned people over to the civil authorities to be prosecuted, even for religious crimes. So like comparatively, actually the Inquisition
Was not
was
that
like
bad actually.
was like not that bad. But I had a point with that too.
Surplus
Um,
repression.
Yeah, yeah. So like, but like, so you look at like John Calvin's Geneva, where like you couldn't, like women had to have like dresses past their ankles in this like absurd level, and then you compare that to like Spanish culture, and you're like, well, no wonder you got like the worst version of fascism in fucking Germany. No wonder you had like and everything that happened before that, because
Yeah.
like uh like in Protestant Germany,
Yeah.
right? Like the level of repression makes you like you have to like have fucking it, and like you have to have like steam like pressure valve releases for
Right.
this shit, you know? And so
Yeah.
if you
Well,
bottle that up more and more, it makes us like insane, you know? And it makes us more violent. I think
like
that's absolutely true.
carnival.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
They
carnival
don't have
serves this
carnival in
like
Germany. That's why they had fascism, like
yeah.
to the extreme level that they did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
Yeah.
and
Like
they
there's
had like
even
the Anabaptist revolts. Like Germany was popping off
yeah,
for a while. It didn't fucking happen overnight.
absolutely not. No, no, no. But they be because Germany became this like Lutheran
Yeah.
over repressed like, you know, sort of thing. It's like yeah, it's like no wonder it was so violent. No wonder the outbursts of violence are so explosive, you
Yeah.
know? And so out of control. Whereas like there's like a low level humming of violence in like Spain all the time, you
Right.
know, like you know, so
So yeah, like the question of man's nature. I think now I do think I'm an optimist, and I think I'm an optimist like when it comes to that question. And the reason is because I'm a human supremacist. We are animals, and we're the best animal. Damn it. And I think we just have to be. Now, I also think animals deserve dignity and respect. Before we started recording, we talked about the ethics of pet ownership and
yeah,
like, like no animals. I think even plants. I think even treating inanimate objects with just simple respect is like a good way to live. And not even
yeah.
like the Martin Buber I and thou thing, although that is an effective way to get in the habit. But I think it's
One
just
second. Keep talking. I can still hear you. I just gotta get up there.
I think it's just good in general to just to be respectful of the world, take a position of stewardship of the world around you, and like be aware of the consequences of your own actions and how they
Yeah,
affect like the world and others around you. But also, no, when it comes to the question of human nature, I do tend to fall on the optimist side. But I also I think that's an unanswerable question. But it is also true that we are products of our environment, and our environment up to now throughout history has been horrid. So we're going to see horrendous stuff. We're going to do horrendous stuff. But I think that notion of like the Hobbesian, all war versus all, like I think that a lot of the time I'm suspicious of it because I think it launders reactionary sentiment. I
yeah,
think it's very convenient for reactionary bullshit. And
yeah,
that's, why I'm suspicious of Girard. And I'm also
yeah,
suspicious of like Peter Thiel, who fucking loves Girard.
yeah, yeah. But he's so cynical.
Peter
He
Thiel?
created Peter Thiel. Like he created. Yeah, he likes Girard, but he created a mimesis machine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
is. He helped
yeah,
to and so to him, like he's bringing the apocalypse closer. So
yeah.
either he's cynical or
I think
like
he's,
or he's evil. One of the two. You
yeah.
know.
No, I think that's it. He recently did an interview, and I saw Paul Vanderklay responded to it. The Plastic Pills podcast responded to it. And I think they were. It was interesting. I wanted to respond to the interview he did too, because like towards the end of the interview, the Antichrist thing came up, and that's what everyone talked about. But the notion
Yeah.
of like God, like the interviewer asked Peter Thiel, like, well, isn't the point of Christianity is that you're going to have a reunion with God, like that? Like he basically came out and said my point that religion is this objectifying process, and I think that's evil.
Hmm. Peter
Like,
Thiel did?
no, the interviewer,
Oh, okay,
the
got you.
interviewer asked him like, Isn't that the
Yeah.
point of religion, that you're going to be reconciled with God and you're going to be made whole in body and mind and spirit?
Yeah.
He's like, isn't that the point of religion? And Peter Thiel was like, well, yeah, but also I want to do that with technology. Like I
Yeah,
want,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
This is
think
why this is why I'm saying like technology is just our God.
exactly,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it comes down to that substantialization, which is like that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. Like we are subjects. We are lacking. We are incomplete. If we were forced into some state of cosmic completion, like we would no longer be who and what we are. Now maybe you could say, well, we're living in this utopian world where there's no crime, poverty, blah blah blah, whatever. It's all glory, glory, hallelujah. Maybe you could say that, and I would just say no. I'm a human supremacist. Like that would not be humans. Those
Yep.
aren't humans, and I don't
Yep.
want to. I don't want to go through that weird phase transition.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it's not gonna go like I'm sorry, the I'm just imagining the beta test era of that also.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I've thought a lot about
Beta
that.
testing Ubermensch.
I think like the brain chip, the brain computer interface, that's coming
Yep.
soon.
It's already here. I mean, they already
Yeah,
do it with like disabled people.
yeah.
Like,
But
um,
like it's only going to keep advancing and developing, and
yep.
I think maybe in 15 or 20 years we will have access to others' interiority.
I don't want
Um,
it. I don't want it,
I don't
dude.
want it
I don't.
either.
I
I don't
want to
want it
read a
either.
novel. I
Yeah,
want to get inside of someone's head reading a fucking book.
right.
Like that's how we've been doing it, and it was
Pa-
working.
Part of the way language works and the way human communication works is like it's by way of language, and so those failures are just as like the failures of language are just as meaningful, and the lacunae in
Yeah.
the like they're just as meaningful. The
Yep.
silence
If not
is
more.
just as
Yeah.
the fullness is, and having
Yeah.
like direct access to interiority, it's monstrous and inhuman.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing. Like what else? Like what will we be like when we no longer have frail bodies and we like kids are just beating the shit out of each other, but there's no consequences, and like I don't know. Yeah, it gets weird. It gets
Yeah.
real fucking weird, dude. Like beta
Mhm.
testing the future. It's gonna suck, and it's gonna be us because it's all
And I
coming over the next 20 years, man.
and I think that they're never gonna. It's gonna be the beta test, and then that's gonna
And
be
that's
it.
it, dude.
That's all there is.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the server's
Yeah.
gonna crash.
Yeah. Something.
Um,
Oh shit.
so
It's
all
gonna
right.
work too well or not at all.
Yeah,
One of
that's
the
it. Yeah, it's either gonna
yeah.
just it's gonna be a shit show, or
Yeah.
we will be in a utopia. Um,
Yeah.
so you answered Rene Girard thinks we need religion, but
Well, I think well he doesn't.
you didn't
Oh
answer what
well,
you
like
think.
let me clarify that real quick about Girard, and then we
Okay.
can get to yes. But when it comes to well, I kind of already answered me because I'm just saying like to me in like to me it's for the sake of humanism. It tells us something about humans if we understand religion because it's part of us, and it's gonna be part of us. It's part of our history, and that religious impulse, that desire to believe, to have faith, that's all part of humans,
Does it have
And
to
so
be? Does it have to be a positivistic, totalizing narrative, though? I think that's what I'm really trying to
no.
ask.
Well, okay, here's the rub. Here's the hard question for me is that can you realistically, can you get large groups of people to move on things that are not like utopia? Can you get large groups of critical thinkers? Really?
I
Can
think we
you?
can, dude, because we see it in
Yeah.
action. Dozens
Mm,
of fucking dozens of thousands of people go to State Farm Stadium to watch the Arizona Cardinals play football.
mm.
That's 70, 80, 90,000 people move and engage in action. And it is collective action. And probably 70% of them are there and they're activating and they're
Yeah.
militating for the home
Yeah.
team. They're there,
Right.
they're wearing the Cardinals gear, they're supporting, they're holding signs. That's activity. It's just activity that's been tied to the commodity because the commodity
Yeah.
is all we have. So 600 years ago, there were angry mobs with pitchforks chasing witches.
Mm-hmm.
Now that same energy gets funneled into pursuit of
Right.
the commodity.
But that's what
Yes,
I'm saying
we
is that
can. Like we can because the Arizona Cardinals isn't totalizing it, and it isn't a grand unifying narrative. It's already
right.
fragmented.
Right.
So yes, we
Right.
can militate and activate without something that's universal and spiritual.
I guess here's the question is like, would communism have taken over a good chunk of the world if people didn't believe that it was going to make all their problems go away? You know what I mean? Like, would it have been as effective if people didn't have some kind of like fantasy about like
For sure.
there will be
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But again, most people are in this kind of scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
So most people are only going to be able to react to either something powerful, like all your problems are going to be solved, or like the surface level commodity immediate like thing.
Yeah. But people are going to continue to be in scarcity. We're not. Well, the point
Probably.
is to overcome scarcity. So we're not. Even if everyone's fed,
Yeah.
like which is not the case in America, but it's more the case than it was in other times in history. You know.
Yeah.
So even if everyone's fed, there's a scarcity of time. There's always going to be some kind of scarcity that we're trying to overcome. You know. And so we're never going to have the resources to like be the kind of like critical like thinking beings that we would be able to if we had all the resources. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just like I don't know. I just like the pessimistic part of me thinks that like there need to be noble lies, you know, that like in order to move people that there have to be. That's the pessimistic part of me. I'm not always thinking that, you know, but like that's the little devil on my shoulder being like, look, there always need to be these like like noble lies, these things that are like you know, the promise of some stupid but euphoric overcoming of contradiction. You know,
Yeah.
maybe that's the only way you move people in the numbers you need. You know, this is my pessimistic side.
I think I agree with you. I ask that question all the fucking time. Like, does there need to be a noble lie? I think often I think probably. But my pessimistic side comes out and says, well, then we're fucked. Because we'll never get there. Even if we use a noble lie to organize and we make progress and this and that, like we'll still never get there. Ultimately, like we've already lost the game. Like if it is the case that some grand totalizing narrative is essential to developing a universalism, then we're fucked. Because I think a grand totalizing narrative and a universalism are incompatible because the universalism has to be predicated on this incompleteness.
Yeah.
So you can't have them both. Like you have to, and that's where I find myself, and I think maybe we need to give up on the idea of, well, I mean, that's why I say we need to give up on the idea of history. That's my problem with communism. Ultimately, is that like they're taking, they're trying to say we're gonna cross this horizon off into a world that works the way it should, but that's predicated on this impossible unity.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. That's why I'm not a communist. Like I if they would have figured that question out, then hell yeah, sign me up.
Right. I think that's what I think we have to learn from, like, if it is possible to have a grand sort of historical movement without a noble lie. I think it's the history of communism that we have to study to figure
Yeah.
out if that's possible. You know what I mean? Because like they sort of tried it. They tried to sort of do that to a certain extent because we're the old gods are dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, but they had to create a new god. So it's like called history, right?
Yep.
So it's like, can we fail better? Is the question. Can we actually take responsibility for history again in a different way?
Yeah.
That also takes responsibility for ourselves and that isn't predicated on a noble lie. I think that's the goal, and I think that's what we need to like try to sort of piece together is what that looks like and how that's possible. Can we get people to show up to without over like can we get people on a political movement that has the same level of like uh identification as a Cardinals game?
Right.
Can we get
Exactly.
people to die? Can we get people to die for a cause that they understand really is like, I don't relate with these other people any more than like we like the same, we want this, you know what I mean? Like we had the same jersey,
Dude,
like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, like,
like the thing is, like, I've been involved in fights over sports
yeah,
teams. Like
right.
I've been the guy who like
Yeah.
fucking like there's been stabbings outside the stadium between Raiders fans and Cardinals fans. Like people
Yeah.
have died over sports
Yeah. Yeah.
teams, you know? Like
Right.
the we
So
already
maybe that makes me think maybe that was never the thing. Maybe the panacea of like a utopia was never the motivating factor for anyone, for any movement
right,
ever. Maybe
right.
it's
No,
always been maybe it's always been the red team, blue team itself,
yeah.
you know, that like the competition itself.
Right. And well, and
Yeah.
I think so too, which is why I think I do think if it's possible to build a universalism, the only way to do it is just giving up on totalizing, on unifying, on completing it, like history, like all that stuff. We have to throw it out if it's even possible. But and then I also come back to when people start talking about Christian atheism, my mind goes to, well, you're just doing red team, blue team shit all over again. It's just different, and you're talking about trying to build like a universal view of the human or the subject or
A, l-
whatever.
a little bit because I think like Zizek's hostility that he's written about in a couple places to Buddhism
Yeah,
uh is like that always it's always weird to me.
yeah,
Like he's not always saying the same thing, but like in some places he seems like he's like, no, like the East is bad,
yeah.
and the West is good. I'm like, well, he's not always saying that when he's talking about criticizing Buddhism, but like at sometimes it has that vibe.
And I get
And I'm
that.
like,
I honestly, I think Buddhism is very, very, it's a slippery slope because it's honestly very similar to Lacan, right? Like there's so much shit in like Eastern
yeah.
mysticism that
Well,
actually
and I
got
take
subjectivity right. Like it got
yeah,
subjectivity right. So
yeah,
that becomes dangerous because it can also lead you into this fanatic, like religious fanaticism.
yeah, yeah.
And I include people like Martin Buber as a religious fanatic, even though he hasn't done anything detrimental. Like I think while the I thou thing is very useful, I think taking it uncritically is
I don't even
dangerous.
know who I don't even know who that is.
Just a guy.
Mark.
He's search I thou.
Oh, I thou.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that'll probably pull it up. Like it's a really cool way to live
Yeah.
if you take it like, oh, this is a method for living. But if you actually start to believe that like that tree is a spiritual being, I think that's fanaticism. And I think the reason why people want to build a bulwark between the West and Eastern mysticism is because Eastern mysticism got a lot right, you know, a
Yeah.
long time before the Western tradition got it right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like interpret like a negative Christianity is like the Johnny come lately
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, where like you're like, no, it's about the crucifixion, it's actually negative. Well, it's like, well, I feel like the negativity at the core of the human, well, the Buddhists had that shit,
Dude, Zen
you know.
Buddhism is fucking awesome. Like I
Yeah, yeah.
legitimately I
I
thought I
take
was a
his point.
Buddhist. Like
I take Zizek's point about like the Bhagavad Gita or whatever, and like how that's similar to Zen Buddhism in certain ways. The like if you disassociate, then you would be able to do like horrible things without feeling responsible for any of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I take that point, but I'm also like, yeah, but okay, so God, what is it like? Fucking the universe moved the sword in my hand,
Yeah.
right? Okay, that's one thing. God moved the sword in my hand. Jesus moved the sword.
Yep.
What's the fucking difference? What's the
Yeah.
fucking difference? There's no difference. You know what I mean? So
That's
they're both amenable to that shit. They both have that possibility to become violent and you know,
perverse.
uh, fanatic and perverse. They can both do that because the human can do that. So why would man's religion not be able to do that?
Yeah.
You know. So, but that's the thing is like that the West is better. I'm like, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not one of these people who's like gonna say that like the West is evil or like the West is, this or that. I'm like, no, no, no. The West isn't fucking evil. The West isn't fucking good. The West was dirty. The West was filthy,
Yeah.
right? Our diseases conquered the fucking world. There would be no America as we know it today. Nothing like America we didn't know today if it wasn't for fucking smallpox. There
Yeah.
would be nothing like this.
Yeah.
There would be other civilizations here like that would have like that what they were already doing at the time, which was taking up European technology and using it in their own way,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
That would have just accelerated and had way more time to develop if it wasn't for like up to 90% of the population of the Americas being wiped out before like the largest waves of settlers even showed up,
Yeah.
right? So like no, European diseases
We're
made,
fucking
like we're fucking dirty, dude. That's what it is,
That's
you
fucked up.
know? So, like, yeah, there was a bit of a technological edge, a bit,
Yeah.
but like to not enough that the other countries, other nations wouldn't have been able to catch up, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, England probably would have conquered the eastern seaboard. The Spanish would have gotten a foothold in America, but it wouldn't have been like, oh, just sweep through and take everything overnight, practically, which is practically what happened, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that whole like period that's so romanticized, the Wild West and all that stuff, didn't really last that long.
No, so short.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would have been such a different story
Yeah.
if it wasn't for literally 90% of people being wiped out before the colonists even showed up in
Yeah.
most cases, you know. So
Their diseases
yeah.
precede them. I do
Yeah.
think
So
yeah, even trying to totalize the West and the East like as like objects of history, I think is absurd.
yeah.
Um
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, there's cross-pollination there from the very beginning with
yep.
Greece and India, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
I also like sometimes I wonder if like what if like I don't know if this is true at all. This is just a complete like speculative musing, but I'm like what if like Platonism is partially responsible for Christianity in the first place? Like there was Greek religion and Greek philosophy and Greek ideas like all over the
Yeah,
area.
dude.
I bet that they inter like the I bet Jewish tradition and Greek traditions intermixed or to some extent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know if that's true at all, but like it definitely, at least Platonism, at least influenced the early church tremendously. We
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
for a fact.
Like whether or not
Yeah,
the shit that it's based on, it definitely influenced
yeah,
the kind of doctrine and the dogma surrounding it.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I feel like like what I think of today that like you're involved with and Mikey's involved with, and I think Zizek is part of it, and a lot of Todd's part of it. Like a lot of people are part of it. I think is like a new humanism. I think,
Yeah.
or like a as a rethinking the human, and like I think that the like we're in a pre-political moment, but like
Yep.
the political dimension of that is like how do we have a sort of non-fanatical revolution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like is that possible even? Is the human being capable of that? And maybe under the strange historical conditions under which we exist now, maybe it's possible, right? Because all the old gods are fucking like they're dead except for technology. That's the only one that's alive, really, you know?
Yeah. Well, I
So, but I,
think, um, yeah, holding on to Christianity, holding on to the old gods, I think is a disavowal of the kind of that condition.
hmm,
The fact
yeah,
that like technology
right.
is not only is technology the new god, but it's on a warpath and it's impending, and we're on a
Yeah.
crash course with it. Like, and
Yeah.
that's why I always react every time people talk about Christian atheism, this and that. Like I think it's a disavowal of like what's happening in the world right now. Like
Right.
AI, capital, like this is God. I don't care about Yahweh. I do. It's interesting and it's cool.
Yeah.
And I love most of the people I love in this world are Christians.
Hmm.
So I like every time I talk about it, I make crazy statements, and I don't ever want it to come off like I don't like those people and I don't respect their beliefs, because I really do.
Yeah.
But also, like, hey, you guys got to catch up, because capitals like capital is what
Yeah.
fucking matters more than your
Yeah.
personal relationship with God. Your personal relationship with God is your business. I have my own
Yeah.
personal relationship with the universe, right?
I had yeah, I got you. So I'm laughing because I had this like daydream when you were saying that once of like when someone's like talking to you and then you just like I had this the other day too with like someone said something to me and I saw myself punching them in the face. Like I didn't do it, but I had the like daydream of just like knocking them the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh yeah, I just like almost saw it like before it happened, and that's the only reason why it didn't, like but like I was talking to someone and they were telling me like that fucking I didn't want to be rude, so I didn't say this. I didn't feel like being an asshole at the moment. Some days I feel like being an asshole, but in that moment I didn't. And but she was telling me about how like fucking talking to me about astrology and shit. And
Mm.
I'm just like, I cannot even pretend to care about like even small talk about it. I'm like, dude, do you realize that like Saint Augustine, right? Saint Augustine disproved it using logic alone in in like what, like 300 AD or whatever the fuck. And you're still, and then modern science has done it no favors,
Yep.
and you're still on this shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. This is where my head went. I feel like
It's
when you
making
were
a
talking about,
comeback though. The shit like that
yeah, but
it's
so
making
all
a
of
comeback.
absolutely, and I'm just like all so like modern rationality is just like out the fucking window right
Yeah.
now. Like enlightenment rationality is
Yeah.
like in out the fucking window right now, and that just sucks because like I don't think that this shit's gonna help us. I don't think that reviving any of the old gods, whether they're fucking pagan or Wicca or like any literal belief whatsoever in like Christianity or Islam or anything like that. I'm just like like you said like I'm totally cool if like I don't care if people believe that, but it's just like it's certainly not politically desirable in any way, shape, or form, and it's really
Right.
bad, I
Right.
think, for like politically. I think it's bad.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't give a
yeah.
shit if people believe what they believe. Like I talk to my most of my family is Christian, and
Yeah.
I talk with them about theology
Yeah.
all the time. But for them, I can talk with them because it's not primarily, at least, it's overwhelmingly personal and not political,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So that's why I can talk with them, and like I have no problem. Like I read theology so I can talk with them sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I think that's like that that's a consequence of like power um making its way into our homes. Like in the past you've said the public has been subsumed by the market. Um that
and the
the
private's been
the
taken over by the public in the form of the
yeah,
market.
yeah. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
Like that's another thing. Like you're free to have like a personal or interpersonal relationship with God, but that's a personal thing.
yeah,
And that's been taken over by this weird public in a sense, social control mechanism. I don't know. It's all weird, and I think that is a very ripe condition for the kind of currents of history being what they are. Again, being
yeah.
like capital AI power,
Right.
like that can ride that tendency to stamp out like real genuine human activity or like the blossoming of a recognition of like a universal human condition. Like
Yeah, yeah,
uh so it is bad politically. It's currently bad politically. I think ultimately the state or the truth of it is that it's irrelevant politically, or it should be
right.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
But
Well,
because of conditions in the world today, it's actually bad if we're going to try to use this as a political thing. It's actually a bad thing,
yeah, yeah,
which sucks
yeah, and it's politically like, especially something like, I don't know, it's politically distracting too, I feel like.
for
Um,
sure.
Not that we're in a political moment, I get that, but my point is just that like if religion pulls you into politics at all,
Right,
then you're distracted from the task at hand, which is a pre-political one,
right.
you know. Like the political task is pre-political, you
Yeah,
know.
like
Yeah.
it's like yeah, we got to lay some kind of foundation for this human project.
Yeah.
And people are like over there like rehashing and relitigating old dead conversations that got us where we are today. Like those, like all that shit was like the precursor for the world we live in today, and the world we live in today sucks. So why would we go back to trying to
Yeah.
recreate it? Like no, we
Unless we're learning from mistakes, which I think like that's why I find the Protestant Reformation, the early modern period,
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
period of like intense technological change and
yeah,
economic change, is so interesting to me because I'm like, yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of the same shit, and so we can learn like what not to. You can never learn what to do from history, but you
right,
can definitely learn some broad lessons about what to stay the fuck away from.
yeah.
Uh, so
Well, I think
yeah,
the number one thing for me, I think, to stay the fuck away from is like trying to totalize.
yeah,
And the
yep,
way I see it, like God is the ultimate totalizer.
yeah. But people totalize when they're fucking tired and hopeless? Isn't that when they do that the most? And people, what are people now? They're tired and hopeless.
Right, which is why
Yeah,
we need to like valiantly be on this side of incompleteness, and we need
yeah.
to as
Die
loudly
on this
and as
fucking hill.
often and like this is the hill we need to die on,
Yeah,
because not only are people tired and weary and just coming from this scarcity point of view,
yeah.
um they're well, yeah, I guess that's it. Like not only are they that, yeah, like the like the world around them, like it's just full of shiny objects. And I think
Mhm.
the religion thing often becomes a shiny object because it becomes a new consumer identity, because it's like, oh, that's my favorite
Or
Christian influencer. That's my favorite way of life. This is my
or it yeah,
like
or it
it's a
appears as
commodity.
the or it appears as the antithesis to the commodity is the other
Right,
thing.
right, 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 right.
It
Yeah,
appears as like,
yeah.
the
And
way
you
out of
think
the commodity.
you can traverse that, yeah. And it's like, guess what, bitch? No.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it really is. It's like, what diet are you on? What like
Yeah.
micro
Uh,
niche sect do you belong to? Like, what
right.
shoes do you wear? Like all that stuff. Like,
That's why Simone Veil's like Christianity is actually cool and based because like for her it's like it's so negative.
yeah,
It's so negative, you know. It's so like love for her is like negative. It's this like negative, it's self-denial, you know. And she goes like debatably even like too far with that a little bit because I think that there is this thing that can happen where like negativity can itself become positive because we're talking about it,
yeah, yeah.
right? So if we're putting it into words already, we've done something
It can
conscious
be, yeah,
about
it
it.
can become
So
like a
we're
fetish. It can be, it become
so
objectified in this way.
yeah, yeah. So we also have to be like, this is why it's like it's not simply do you have the right line about
Yep.
negativity? It's like, do you have the right practice? Do you
Yeah.
have the right cultivation of attention? You know what I mean? Which is that's how Vale would put it is in terms of attention. And so like um but yeah, that's the problem that every belief system of it, every kind always has though, is that propensity to take what might have originated as negative
And positivize
and
it.
and positivize it, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And I think I always find myself coming back to that point of like, is this even possible? Um, and when we talked to Matthew, which fucking excellent book, The Hysterical Sublime. Everyone listening, get your hands on a copy of The Hysterical Sublime as soon as you can. Matthew Flissfader, excellent book. I think he's very much in line with like what we're talking about right now, like history and um what
Mm.
like not even like what should we do, but like is it even possible to do anything right now? And again, like his landing I think is the only landing you can make, and it's basically like, yeah, we gotta do something. We have to take up our own responsibility. Like
Yeah.
we're already complicit. We're already implicated. We have to take that up for ourselves. Um, and
Yeah.
that's what we can do. So we could sit and we can cry over spilled milk and worry
Yeah.
about history and this and that. But really, the most effective thing to do is take up your personal responsibility and go from there, because we are in this pre-political point. Um,
Yeah.
but when we were talking with him, I was joking about being a posadist, and hopefully soon I can actually have a conversation with him and anyone else who wants about posadism, because I think like nine, maybe not nine, but like 7 times out of 10, if you were to ask me, I would say, yeah, they got it right in their position of like, yeah, like we just have to fucking all die. Like, like basically that's the point of fasadism, is like, yeah, like 90% of us have to die. And then the 10% that are left, they'll figure it out. Like that's the position. And I think that's what I believe. Like, I think we probably have to die. And
Well,
if our
dude,
kids are lucky, they'll be among the lucky few that figure it out.
I mean that's I feel like the fact that there are 8 billion people on the face of the earth is what holds us hostage because like
Yeah.
we there is no other like we're gonna create a death cult right here or the revival of Posadism. But like
Yeah, dude.
I think like the fact that we don't know there's no falsifiable way of getting all these motherfuckers fed that
Yeah.
exists. This
Yeah.
is it.
Yeah.
This is it. So you propose change and like anything you change, okay, as much as it's underserving people now and people are starving to death now and shit, like
Yeah.
anything you change, billion dead.
Yep.
Oops.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like you're gonna have like great leap forward problems
Yep.
that just like, oh, killed a billion.
Yep.
Oops. You know, so it's like that's why we're so fucking politically timid. That's one of the reasons. Like no one wants to try anything because it's like there's 8 billion motherfuckers and we don't know how to feed these people other than this shitty bullshit Monsanto way we're doing it.
Yeah.
You know? So
And
fucking crazy, but
yeah, dude. It's, I don't know. I
I don't
hate
know if you
to
want to. Oh, go ahead.
I hate to have that pessimistic position, but I don't know. I think we all could stand to be a little more pessimistic because I think that maybe that'll give us the kick in the ass to do what it takes to figure out how to be a human here in the 21st century. Because I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing people talk about like, oh, we're gonna figure it out and oh, it'll all be okay. Oh, it'll all work out. No, dude, I'm fucking terrified. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna work. I think it's time
Yeah.
to do something. But anyway,
Yeah. I don't know if you when you want to wrap up or whatnot, but I feel like I just one thing I wanted a note I wrote to say later is that like when it comes to like learning about the Reformation, like why I enjoy doing that is like to me when people throw around the word democratization, I think
yeah,
about
dude.
Luther so much when people say that because like it's crazy that the what happened with the Gutenberg publishing industry, right, is this democratization of reading, right? This ability for way more people to get their hands on the same text and be talking about it. Democratization, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
but like, and the idea, the Protestant idea was that we're all going to become our own priests, our own interpreters of, that's the ideal of the Bible, right? And then the internet is like, what's the difference? It's like the democratization of information.
Yeah,
You know, we're all going to be our own interpreters of the information,
yeah.
you know? And so, but the problem is that like it never, unless people have the cultivation, unless we're giving people the like time and the space to think about the information, does it fucking matter that we have it? If the peasants can't read, does it matter that they have, you know, access to the Gutenberg Bible? You know what I mean? It's like this is what I mean about like there's lessons about what not to do and like the same pitfalls,
Well,
you
we
know, or
shit the
similar
bed.
pitfalls.
We
Yeah.
shit the bed with that one because I think not only does it not matter, like if you don't have the time to process the information, it doesn't matter if you have access to it or not. I think it's actually
Yeah.
detrimental, and I think it's demonstrably detrimental
Yeah.
to have to be overstimulated or overinformed or whatever. And
Yeah.
that's the condition we're all living in now, where
Right.
it's just constant shit being piped into your fucking eyeballs and your ears and your orifices and um like it's also true that there's no going back. Like we've crossed the fucking Rubicon. We have to find a way to adapt to these conditions now.
Yep.
Um, but and which is why also going back to Hobbes and Rousseau, like talking about the question of human nature, like we don't even know, dude. Like we have to like reacclimate to the world every 6 months. We're living in a new world that's radically changed. What's funny is that it hasn't actually changed. Like technological innovation has slowed down. Like nothing has
Yeah.
really changed for quite some time, but it's the
Yep.
information scape that changes so much. So we have to
Yeah.
reacclimate. We have to get used to things all over again because there's a new narrative. There's a new quilting point constantly. It's the churn. Everything
Yeah.
is always in constant upheaval. We're all in this weird free floating world, and that takes time. Um, and it
Yeah.
our environment is changing so much. Um, and I think when it comes to that, I think it makes the most sense to take this optimistic position of like, yeah, we're humans. We'll probably figure it out. Because I think otherwise, like if you were to say, oh, we probably won't figure it out, then then you should go kill yourself because you're just wasting resources. You're wasting water. You're wasting food. You're polluting. Your carbon footprint.
Yeah.
This and that. Like we
Yeah.
are fucked. So I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the Gutenberg revolution, like we should have fucking paid attention to that.
Yeah.
Maybe the world wouldn't be so fucked now because this idea of the democratization of information and free access and this and that, I think it's bad for us. I think it's bad for our fucking children and it's exhausting. We're exhausted, and we're exhausted because we're constantly being exploited and having our labor fucking extracted from us, but we're also exhausted on the back end because we're constantly being bombarded with information, because the consumption of information has become productive from the standpoint of capital.
Yeah.
So not only are we working to produce value, we're also consuming in our quote unquote time off from work as this doubly extractive fucking time. So it's like, yeah, dude, we're
first world problems. We're really lucky.
Yeah. Fucking A, dude.
So like,
but it's true. It's fucking true.
Fuck.
So Covenant.
I guess no, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna try to tie it back to Alien Covenant somehow, but
we went pretty far afield.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, what we're talking about with the 8 billion people, it's like all the technology that we've created to make that world possible is also our undoing. That's the theme of Alien right there.
Well, and in Covenant, they're on a colony
and it's
ship.
and it's fucking in us. It's in us. Like the plastic is in us, right? It's bursting out. The fucking the Monsanto fucking chemicals are in us, dude. Like you can't they're all there.
Crimes of the Future, the Cronenberg.
Yeah, I saw that one. I did see that one. I haven't seen the newest one, Shrouds, but Crimes of the Future. Wait.
That's where he's like, the dude grows new organs. They're like weird tumors in new organs, and they eat plastic.
Yeah. Cronenberg's new movies are like way too art housey. I love that like fucking the campy old shit.
Yeah,
the
dude.
80s. That's the 90s. That's the good shit. Yeah.
Crimes of the Future was actually emotionally difficult to watch though.
Yeah,
because it was about. It was fucked up. But anyway, in Alien Covenant, they're on a colony ship escaping Earth because we fucking destroyed Earth.
Yeah.
Like we fucked up Earth. They go out into space, and then Weyland Yutani is trying to like control technology, and it's that winds up killing them all.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. Maybe Alien Covenant is actually like way better than people give it credit for. I love it. I do think Alien Covenant and Prometheus are like as good as the original Alien trilogy is, and then Resurrection is. I mean, I like it.
Yeah,
I think Covenant and Prometheus are probably the best Alien films, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's like we could have talked more about fucking Covenant. We talked about all this other shit, but
no, it's all related, man.
Yeah, but when it comes, it's like the parasitism of the corporation.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's psychological, whether it's fucking physical, like they are. The corporation is inside of us, and it's fucking bursting out. You know, it colonizes our unconscious, and then gets us to think like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that
all that shit is like,
that point of like the future bursting out of our collective chest, if anything, like I think that being the message of at least this conversation, but also probably the movie too. Like we are currently pregnant with the future, and
it's a fucking
it's a monster, dude. It's an alien, it's a xenomorph, and it's here to kill us, and all it cares about is ultimately like utility. Like that's what the corporation wants. Just exchange value. And we have a chest burster in us right now. And it just
and we need advanced technology to be able to get it out also, because that's what you need to get to the fucking C-section booth so you can get it out of you, you know.
Well, like Pharmacon, right? Like it's both the poison and the cure at the same time. Like that idea, that goes all the way back to ancient Greece, like this idea of
Yeah.
the dialectical relationship that we have with uh our own creations.
Yeah.
Like in the world
And
we live in today, we've gone
yeah,
hands
right.
off. Like we forgot that we're responsible for, and like the machine is going out of control and just eating us up like this rabid parasite. So
Yeah. Yeah. And our fucking our minds are parasitized by the information,
yeah,
right? That we're like we have to like it's like the super what is the super ego but a parasite,
yeah,
you know, that parasitizes on our enjoyment. It's like it takes what's pleasureful and good and makes it a duty. Like you must, you know, you must consume, not you get to consume.
yeah,
Not you can if you want to,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I mean, we're
So that's like
definitely
parasitic as fuck to me. And so, you know,
yeah, we're definitely living under a command to and Todd makes this in enjoying what we don't have, the injunction to not just to accumulate but to enjoy.
yeah.
That's the world we live
Once you
in
see that, you
today.
cannot
Yeah,
once you see that, you can't unsee it, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's fucking everywhere. Um, but,
Well,
but yeah, I feel like
we're mostly
it's about
fucked.
time. Yeah, we're mostly fucked. But like I really think that um where is it that you look for hope? Let's like try and end on like a somewhat positive note-ish. Is like where do you because I feel like I need that sometimes. Like I
For
feel like
sure.
really I do get like fucking possessed by like doom and gloom and like sometimes I'm like, well, what's the point if all there is like we're fucked? If that's all we have to say, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
important to point out that we're fucked, but like if all we do is point that out, then like we end up either paranoid or depressed,
yeah.
you know?
I think
And
like
then and that doesn't help anything.
yeah. No, and it
Yeah.
actually makes it worse because then you get caught in the loop.
Yep.
Either like this paranoiac loop where everything is actually out to get you, or the depressive loop where you can't fucking do anything. I think
Yeah.
I think
That's why I like really quick, sorry. It's why I like Studebaker's one of his most recent articles on Substack where he was talking about how political despair is nothing to do with personal despair.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can be politically despairing and still like be a chill person and have friends and family and like, you know, try your just recognize that this ain't the moment for politics, you know?
I think that's it. I think like hope has to come from the personal, from something personal. You can't look to politics for hope. You can't look
Yeah.
to God for hope. You can't look to anything that's like grand unifying, grand totalizing
Right.
narrative, anything.
That
Like you have to look at
right.
yourself, your
That's how you get that positivizing shit in
exactly.
the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
relying
So it's
you
always
like
even if politics are possible,
yeah.
even then it's still not good to find your hope in them, even if they are possible.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you can't look outside the real world for something like hope.
Yeah.
And the real world being like, who are you as a person? Like you're a person. Like this political stuff, this is all because we're both people. But apart from the fact that we're both people, you're a person. So like you've got to have a real life in a real world that doesn't include the category of like humanity. And like everyone needs that. And I think that's where we go wrong because we don't require that of ourselves and other people. Like we just say, "Oh yeah, politics, communist. Oh yeah, Christian, Jesus, Buddhist, like whatever." Or "Oh yeah, technology. You're an optimistic AI accelerationist, whatever." Like we just rely on these totalizing narratives, these
Hmm.
overarching narratives that strip our agency away from us,
Yeah.
and we get subsumed into that. Like we disappear into that. We already
Yeah.
have gone away and
Dude.
disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like uh,
Yeah.
and it's hard too, dude. Like it really is hard finding hope, but it's also I don't know, man. Take a walk, smell a flower, read a book of poetry, or go look at a painting, or like whatever it is that works. Works. And like for me, it's often family. Like it's like kids looking at shit and seeing where I think the thing that does it for me with regard to that is like when they surprise me. Like when my kids surprise me with like, oh hey, cool. Like maybe they're a little bit better off than I would assume that they are, just being kind of immersed in this sea of doom and we're fucked and this
Yeah.
and that. Like there's
Yeah. We have to remember for young people, like I feel so bad for young people, but like fucking we have to also realize that like the world being as shitty as it is today is like sucks more for older people because
yep.
it's so disappointing.
Yep.
It was supposed to be better than this. Whereas,
Yeah, dude.
whereas like the Zoomers are like, well, I already knew it was shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. They do
but I
have
feel like I was just old enough to get disappointed. You know what I mean?
dude, I'm
Because
still pissed. The nostalgia for the lost future, like that shit, that's real, dude. We were supposed to have
yeah,
flying cars, the
yeah.
Jetsons, fucking like all that shit.
Dude, I just didn't realize, like, I was disappointed by the fact I didn't realize how, like, fucking shitty that being an adult would be.
Yeah.
Like, I had optimism for being an adult. I was like, I'll be free, like, no one's gonna tell me what to do, kind of thing. And then
Fuck
it's just
that,
like,
dude.
fuck, this is miserable. Like, I am condemned to this fucking freedom. This is fucking, horrible.
I
It's like,
often
I
look
am
at my
free to fuck
dogs.
up my life,
Yeah.
is all I'm free to
Yeah.
do. Like.
I often look at my dogs and wish I could be a dog. Like I'll
Hell
be
yeah.
sitting on the couch and I'll look over at my dog just like laying there all stupid and floppy. Like,
Yeah.
man, I wish I could fucking be a dog, dude. He's got it good. But
That's-
but also being a human is awesome too. Like I've done dope shit.
yeah.
I think about a lot of dope shit. I fucking
Yeah.
like you can't do any of the dope shit if you're not a human.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
trade-off, and it's like take responsibility for it. Like I think that too, like being able to take responsibility for yourself and the world around you is a huge like enabler for people, and it's actually like an empowerment when you're actually able to own all the mistakes you've made and fess up to all the
Right.
dumb bullshit, but also take whatever solace in those unique personal singular moments that do belong to you and only you, or you and only a concrete other or whatever.
Yeah.
Because we all have shit like that. Even people with the most miserable lives have had human connections.
hmm
So
Yeah. And you can't blame yourself for fucking everything either. Like you have to take responsibility, but also like there's a difference between that and like
like beating
and
yourself up.
beating yourself up,
Yeah.
vilifying yourself, thinking that everything was your fault when like that's not how fucking life works.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have a role to play, but like I said about like Western civilization, it wouldn't. I love the Enlightenment, dude. I love the Enlightenment, but like it wouldn't be the Western civilization that we think of today if it wasn't for how fucking fucking dirty Europe was. Europe was a filthy fucking place,
That's awesome, dude.
so
fucking
so that's an
ridiculous.
accident. It's a
Yeah.
fucking accident that the West became like the global hegemonic thing that it became.
That's
Total
funny,
fucking
dude.
accident.
Uh,
Yeah.
in the War of the Worlds, the H.G. Wells, the fucking aliens can't survive
Yeah.
our our microbes. Like
Right.
our bugs kill them. So maybe if you want to save humanity, give up on hygiene, or maybe if you want to avoid extinction, do good hygiene.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah. I don't know my Japanese history that well, but it seems like they got it right based on not knowing that much. But because you never hear about like the bubonic plague, like destroying Japan,
Yeah.
but also like they are like clean, like a beautiful culture that like seems to be have its shit together as far as hygiene goes. Like they thought
Yeah.
it was gross that like Europeans drank milk from cows. They were like, that's fucking nasty, bro. That's just that you let that animal in your house, you gross motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can have but they still had animals, so they had some exposure to that pathogens. They just didn't fucking like swim in it, you know.
Yeah. And they
They just
did
didn't
take yeah.
grovel in the dirt,
Yeah.
you know.
Fucking A, dude.
Like Europe was that Monty Python and the Holy Grail sketch, like filth. I love filth. Like that's accurate. That's a documentary. That's what
That's awesome.
yeah.
And with that, dude, we'll leave the
Yeah.
audience with that. Fucking
Alrighty. Cool.
peace out, YouTube.
Peace.